Hello, and welcome to the final episode of the season, where I kill
What?
everybody.
What?
Hey, hi, friends. I didn't realize you were all dialed in already.
Yes.
Well, this is awkward. My name's Jared Sarton. I am your Dungeon Master. On screen, we have Nathan, Lauren, Lindsay, and
Hi.
another Jared. We've given him so many names. Couch Drasek, other Jared, Hoy, whatever.
Technically, we didn't give him that name.
We did.
But-
We gave it to him.
Yeah.
I claimed it.
Yeah.
So welcome. We are in our final episode of this season. If you haven't caught up with all of it, take a listen on our podcasts. That's the only thing I'm going to call out right now again, because our podcasts are everywhere. If you have a podcast player or an MP3 player or a phone that can go to the internet or an internet device, you can listen to the podcast.
Do people still use MP3 players?
Don't know.
Everyone does.
Zune.
Zooms,
Right,
yes.
elitist.
And
Calm down,
the
Bill
old
Gates.
iPod click wheels. Yep, you can download our podcast and listen there. But yeah, we are going into our final episode, and with that means we're going to take a break. 2 weeks from now, we'd usually play a game, but we're going to have that off as we prep for the next season. So what you will see is the third week in March is our next game. So for those of you here starting off, you've got a little bit of time to catch up. If you don't want to catch up or have caught up with the main series, the VODs are available on Twitch for our off season. So we've got a bunch of different 1-shots, 2-shots, 3-shots, micro series, whatever they may be. Go there and listen to them as well. Anyone have anything to say other than Sarah BC1, our hype boss, is almost knocked off the board. So
Almost there.
whoever wants to give that free nat 20, like, subscribe, follow, tip, whatever it may be, and we'll knock that health bar down. With that, let's dig into the story. You all ready?
Yes, technically.
Yes, technically.
Pitter patter, let's get out of here.
Rocks fall, the boat sinks. As we had left our party at the end of the last episode, they'd made their way onto a large ship with pipes of steam adorning the edges. A cloud on the middle of the sail as the icon for whatever this sailing crew is. Various creatures and beings. Tripio, as we've lovingly called him, a wooden warforged, been the main point of contact as they had gotten onto the boat. They've been told that they're heading towards Nafa, to a city where there's a forge to help break apart this stone of power. Meanwhile, on their tail, some of the biggest sources of evil on this planet are coming after them. A giant worm attempted to suck them under as they were fleeing the town, and they might have seen a few other large creatures starting to appear. But now that they're out on the water, hopefully peace is there as they're moving swiftly into the deeper ocean. Now, with that doesn't mean that all is well and done. This stone still attracts some of the worst and the best, as it is a source of power that calls to beings on this planet and potentially others. It's an alien episode. I mean, what? It's not an alien episode. But as they settle in for the evening, the party is granted quarters on the boat. They have a nice little top deck bunk up by the captain's quarters, where there's a few small cots for them, a little table that they can set up their stuff and discuss their plans. And the deck is fairly quiet now that the ship is in motion. On the deck, they also noticed that there was an area that they could do some smithing. A very small forge that was able to do some light repairs was available to them. And they are ready to begin this next leg of the journey. Party, what do you do on this ship, on this vessel?
Well, I imagine we're pretty tired. We did just do a fight for our lives, and
Run.
then we almost left people behind.
Almost.
So
Are you referring to Linus as people?
No, I got Linus.
Okay, I didn't
got
know.
there.
Yeah.
I took care of Linus. I was talking about all 3PO's friends.
Ah, yes. Okay.
3PO's friends. And all
Luckily,
the town people that we saved, but left to die horribly.
Sorry.
So I imagine we want to rest. Well, I know Thad wants to rest. I'm
what
exhausted.
time of day is it again, Jared Sarton?
Yeah, this is the early evening. The sun is beginning to approach the horizon, and it's a nice cool breeze coming off of the ocean.
Well,
I
Valari
think-
hadn't been feeling well, so she's gonna be going between feeling sick, being sick, and sleeping.
Is there a nice portcullis in our chambers that she can just open, or does she need a bucket?
Yeah, you are actually at the rear of the ship. There's a couple small windows in the cabin that you have.
But I'm sure there's a chamber pot in there, so
A few buckets. There's a few mop buckets out on the deck as well. You've got plenty of places to puke. The deck is actually quite large. This is one of the larger decks that anyone has been on for a ship. It's about 55 feet across. This is one of the biggest vessels that you've seen on the water, especially when all of you were actually looking across the water when you were in Standing Rock. Well, aside from Thadric.
Can I want to just remind myself of something really quick.
Yeah.
Remember when that town near the water, girl standing, or no,
Standing
Was
Rock,
it-
yep.
no, the other one near the water.
The other one near the water.
Wait,
the one
was
that you
that
were just
Standing
at.
Rock?
The one you were just
Is that-
at? Stonehaven?
No, not okay. No,
yes.
Standing Rock. Okay, man, everything's named after rocks out
it's
here.
a very
Got it.
rocky island. There's not a lot of
Right.
good, clean grass.
So Standing Rock was the one that kind of got destroyed when a certain druid activated a whole bunch of traps.
Decided to douse a flame, which activated more traps and washed out the side of a cliff.
Yeah. So, but
that
that
is-
just walked out the side of the cliff. That didn't open up a certain lake area on the island, right?
No,
Okay, cool.
it did not.
My brain's just like, we're in the open water. A giant worm which lives on land was following us. The things that live in the water can also be very big. It's a good thing we left that crack in there.
Yes.
That's what Garth's thinking. I think Garth feels very small. I don't think he's necessarily done a lot of open sea travel. I think maybe he's done some across lakes or down river, but shore has always been something nice and close. So he's feeling particularly small.
Well, because you guys aren't from an island nation, right? You guys are from big old land area.
Yeah, big old land mass known as Faerun on a different plane.
Okay. Is there, if I can, while things are like settling down for the afternoon / evening, I'd like to try and find either navigator or some charts and just kind of take stock of where we are in relation to everything, and like if their island is marked.
Yeah. So as you're settling in for the night, you're able to call over a deckhand, and he runs off and finds a quick kind of hand scratched map that has been drawn. You can see that the island of Galan that you're on the southwest side. And he drew a quick little sketch saying that you guys are going, you're on the southeast side. You guys are going more eastward into the deeper ocean, and the plan is to go up and around Galan and cut between a few of the islands to the center. Currently, there's 3 main islands and the remnants of the one that is called Nefa, where you're planning to go. So you
But
see that.
we know about that. Like that's not a hidden island or anything.
No, Thadric, you know about that. You know, years and years ago that island had sunk. The rest of the party had kind of heard about it and probably learned a little bit more while they were in Standing Rock.
Okay. All right. That's just I wanted to make sure we weren't going to yet another place I didn't want to go.
No, you know about this. It's a small stretch of island that seemingly is fairly uninhabited. There may be a town on there that you have heard of, but it was more or less abandoned a couple hundred years
Okay.
ago when the rest of the island sunk.
Gotcha. Having satiated that curiosity, until it's time to sleep, I'll start gathering and prepping anything I need to like begin the first pieces of the Hydra armor for us.
Yeah.
Like, because it'll take X amount of fasteners and just like tedium work before we get into the art stuff. And I feel like I could probably bang some of that out. I don't know.
Ari would probably be there to help Thadric get a little work in before bedtime. Probably be like, while we're working on this, I seem to have become short one longsword.
Thad's face gets real big. As, oh, I thought you were gonna ask me to make the wedding ring.
I punch him in the shoulder. Non-lethal damage.
Non-lethal damage. No, she punches with lethal force, and there's how we get our first kill of the night.
Getting to know him.
Ari, are you saying you don't have a longsword currently?
No, my longsword got stoned.
Yeah, but you do have a short sword and an axe, correct?
I do.
The short sword is the one with TikTok in it?
Ah,
Well,
Doesn't
tomorrow
have-
I can get you a sword super nice.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, I need
Tomorrow.
a nap.
Oh, for sure. That sounds good. Thank you.
And then, yeah, maybe I will whilst we're banging out like the fasteners and the rivets and stuff. Maybe I'll try my hand at a pair of halfling and human wedding bands just to see how they are. But like I won't like it should just look like the normal stuff.
As you're working, a few others come by quick, and one man kind of bangs out a little notch that he had in his axe and does a quick and very dirty grind on it. Goes, huh, that should be good enough, and he hustles off. A little kobold comes up and pulls out a small blade, and he grinds it down just a little bit and sharpens it and pokes the end a few times just to test it, and eyeballs what you're working on. Can I get a perception roll from you, Thadric?
You can. I will roll that when I click on the thing. Here it is. It is a 21.
21. Well, his sleight of hand is not very good. He sees that you're making a couple small, very shiny circlets, one being about his size for a ring. He reaches over just to get his little claw on it. You're able to see that he's just slyly like looking away and kind of reaching over to see what's going on.
Can I grab him by the scruff of his kobold neck?
Yeah, you can. He's dangling a little bit. Hey, it was shiny. It was shiny.
These are not meant for you, little dude.
Okay, what are you making?
We're making like fasteners to put armor on if it falls off, and I'm making this lovely woman's here her wedding bed. Her and our halfling friend are getting married soon.
I am not getting married. Can I like push it into the fire?
I think at this point, Thadric, seeing that there's a hand going for it, would have a nice hold of the bands in hand. But as he describes it, the little kobold sticks a hand in his pocket and pulls out a little handkerchief and swirls it in the air. Congratulations! Congratulations!
You're
It's
lucky
gonna be
have my
beautiful.
longsword.
We have a new hype boss.
Scott Denuzo.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I got so caught up in.
Scott Denuzo!
Who gets that natural 20 as a gifting from your hype bossness, Scott Denuzo? Let us know in chat. As you're congratulated, and he's twirling his little handkerchief in the air, dangling still from Thadric lifting him up in the air. How do you go about that? The pretty one. Aw, thank you. I get the next one.
I think he's gonna have to be a little bit more specific.
Wow. Also now You set yourself up.
Got the news that we are. Oh no, sits back and
Carnage.
You fool! What have you done?
See, if our DM were smart, he would have been like, "Oh, the pretty one," and pointed to his wife.
Right.
But
You missed the opportunity for +5.
oh man.
Oh, now he's okay. Now it
he's
just says
still-
Jared, but
Jared,
Huh.
there's two Jareds.
Oh, he knows that. He knows that.
this is a great game.
Oh man.
Huh.
We mess with chat from time to time, and then chat messes with us. Tonight, chat's turn.
I think
Well-
let's see how this wedding thing comes out.
There it is.
There we go.
The pretty one, Thadric in his nice golden locks and
Well, now we know
bushy
who the
beard.
pretty one is.
Thanks, Deduzo, dude.
right. So
Where were we?
we're dangling a small kobold who is congratulating Ari on her impending marriage.
They just got engaged like yesterday,
No, we
2 days ago.
had a bartering trade of ring for magical purposes to better suit our strengths. Thank you very much.
It is magical. Yes, yes. I've been with my wife 3 years. We have a few little pups at home.
Ew.
I lean back from the edge of the boat and I go, "Thadric, don't forget the cake knife," and then puke again.
Do you think the captain could perform a ceremony?
Do you?
I can speak to him.
Aren't
Oh,
you a
that'd be
cleric?
amazing, little dude.
Are you still dangling him at this point?
No, I'll put him down.
Okay.
I'll put him down.
I'll go see if I can rustle up a nice little wedding venue, maybe the front of the ship. Yeah.
I chase him down, put him in a headhold, and say, "No more." Got it.
Oh, he is not headlocked.
He rolled a 19 on his strength check, but
Okay.
let's see what his actual strength is because I
I have a
don't
21.
think it's that good. He's probably a negative. I don't have my kobold up. 2 seconds.
Cool. I
Kobold
do have a
here.
21.
Yeah, he's got a -2 strength, so he's only a 17 on his strength check. So you do get him in a little bit of a headlock.
I said, "Enough is enough."
Okay. Well, maybe you'll your feet will warm up soon.
You're done. And I'll let him go. If I hear another word, though,
So Garth hasn't been there, but I think it would just be funny if like Garth walks in right now and just goes, "You know, Ari, I really do appreciate you swapping rings with me. I do think that it's going to wind up being very beneficial to us both." And well,
I storm out.
Wow.
was it something I said? Your Majesty.
Is this how you thought it'd go, Sarton?
Exactly how I thought it would go. But as that happens, and Ari storms out, and Garth is just standing there unaware, and the little kobold is rushing the other side of the deck. Garth, out of the corner of your eye, you see a creature that you've not seen too often. A tall, slender bird walking towards you. An Aarakocra. One that is of bright blue feathers. He's got a white stripe across his chest. And he walks up and kind of looks across the carnage.
Oh, I see that you're going to be having a wedding here. Huh? Well, I can just I can officiate if you want me to.
Are you the captain?
No, but I've got my licenses and everything. I know how to do it. I've officiated 4 weddings on this boat.
Oh, really?
Yes. I've been sailing with this bunch for enough time that things happen at sea.
I've heard stories. Personally, I've never been to sea myself. This is my first time. Who's getting married? Oh, Thadric, were you telling? Is that why she stormed out? I'm starting to understand things.
She's your fiance, dude.
Look, I would be honored to be engaged to royalty, but look, I think what Thadric here is working on is more along the lines of, weren't you making some armor, my friend?
Yeah, but also, look, rings.
Oh, those are nice. Garth takes it and like tries. That's just a perfect fit, isn't it?
It is. Oh, wow.
Maybe I'm being too brash about this thing. Maybe. I mean, politically speaking, it would be wonderful, but no.
You used the term engagement, and then you changed rings. That means you're getting married.
Did I say engagement? I don't remember.
No,
that.
you said proposal.
Oh yes, I have a proposal. Oh. Okay.
You did do that.
This does seem to have a little bit of merit to it. Didn't you think it was odd that she gave me a ring?
You guys are from foreigner place.
That's true. We're different.
You might have
Look,
your own ceremonies. I don't know.
Look, again, as much of a catch as I am, her heart is for another. We lost a companion. His name is Ebrin. I think she liked how dark and mysterious he was. But look, admittedly, the man had a chiseled jaw. Like, I'm pretty sure the gods themselves were like, "Hey, look at that stone over there. Let's just make it a human's jaw." And then they made this man. So, like, I get it.
Well, I will let you be, and I'll see you all in the morning. If you decide to change your mind, just let me know. And the Aarakocra backs up and catches eye of Valari, still kind of green, puking over the edge. He steps over to her and puts a large wing around her shoulders and leans in and hands over a small flask and kind of whispers a little bit. This'll help. It's a mixture of my own, part alcohol and part herbs. It'll settle the stomach. Don't chug it all at once. He walks off. So Valari, you now have a little vial of alcohol and herbs that this Aarakocra says will help your stomach.
I'll drink it.
Noise.
Some of it, at least.
Some of it. As you take a sip, your stomach settles a bit, but you do feel a little bit lighter on your feet. Whatever it is, it's a potent mix of things.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that. Back at the forge, I believe we have Thadric and Garth.
What can I do to help you, my man? One of the...
Here, stand on this stool.
All right, I climb up on the stool.
And I'll take, like, measurements, kind of, using him as a somewhat model.
Just out of curiosity, are you using my measurements in relation to yourself for armor, or for...
Yeah, like, 2.5 of your arms are like one of mine. This is just rough work. This is the broad strokes.
Oh.
I haven't begun to work the metal yet.
Of course. Very interesting. You know, Thadric, I don't think I've really got a chance. You know, just us boys, one-on-one. We've always got the ladies around. So what's your story, my man? As Garth is just, like, standing there like this.
Well, my story? Well, let's see. I met you in that stone place. Before that, I was walking there. He just starts backtracking places that he's gone till it gets back. He's like, I guess I would have to start at the beginning.
It's a very good place to start.
I was born to a well-to-do blacksmith in the town of Fringeport. Sadly, I am the third and youngest of the brothers. And what blacksmith do you know that needs 3 apprentices? Apprentice-I? apprentices. Anyway, so I was already looking for something out in the world. And I think as he looks around, he's like, it's just us boys, as it always is. As always is the case. Met a girl. So smart. Way smarter than me. She's a scrivener. So she like does books and like transfers them into like bindings, and she's read like everything. Brilliant.
Now she sounds like my type. She's into books, huh? Keep going.
You're spoken for, dude.
Right, I know. Keep going.
So
Right, and keep going.
So we started getting close, but I felt I didn't have anything to offer. I hadn't traveled, I haven't seen the world, I haven't done anything, let alone all these exploits she's been reading in these books. So I decided I'd go out in the world, learn some things, and then return back, and maybe I'll have proven myself good enough for her company. And then Thadric reaches into his own coin purse and pulls out this it's a gold and platinum meteorite ring. It's the same kind of meteorite stone that's on his hammer. He's like, this is for her when I see her again.
Oh my, it is beautiful. Well, so you're doing all of this for a girl. I must say, many a man has adventured for the love of a woman. For what
That's why-
greater adventure is there?
Well, that's why I'm trying to remember everything that we do, so that I can like put it in a tale that she'll want to read.
Interesting.
Because you like books, but like, she's read like every book. Because you have to read the book to write the book.
That's true. If you're copying it down.
Yeah. She's read things that like she doesn't even care about, but she's read about. That's amazing.
Wow. I might need to change professions. This sounds like a job I would love.
Valara, you're mildly within earshot, so you hear bits and pieces of the conversation. And you see that Garth is getting excited, and you think that you're hearing, I believe, some of the bits and pieces that he's getting excited about this other woman. But you don't know who Thadric's really talking about. So that's kind of what you're able to catch. Meanwhile, in between you two, the Blink Dog has found himself a nice mop that he's been gnawing on the center of. It's nearly gnawed through it. So it's going from about human size to more goblin kobold size pretty quickly.
The dog or the mop?
The mop.
Come up.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah. No, the Blink Dog doesn't have growth and shrink powers at the moment.
I
Maybe
mean, I have
later.
a potion that can.
Maybe later. Oh, yeah, there you go.
So that's my story, my good man. Experience the world to impress Xandra.
Sandra? That's a
Xandra.
lovely name.
I think so.
I must say, you're getting quite a bit of a story here. I mean, look, we found ourselves on the sea. Did you think that one would happen? I certainly didn't. And Garth kind of looks around nervously, just like, how far in the middle of the boat am I?
I want to look around and be like, part of the town I grew up in, that's called Fringeport. It is a port, my good dude.
Yes, but I don't. You know, some people grow up in the ports, but they never leave them. You know what I mean? I didn't know if you went inland. Was Fringeport on that island? Because I've only been to 2 other towns on that island. Like, the one, you know.
No, Fringeport is, and then using where we were from that nav chart earlier, I'll kind of just spin and be like, that way.
Oh, okay. So this is like boat trip part 2 for you.
Or 7, whatever.
Oh,
Most
my.
of our land itself is islands, like large islands and small islands.
Yeah.
I
See
mean,
that,
that,
yeah,
like, everyone kind of seems comfortable on the water a little bit.
Yeah,
Is that not?
It's not really, it's not really. I come from the middle of a land that's a big land. And then I started having to move around quite a bit. And never really got to the watery parts. Then all of a sudden, wound up here. So, water's everywhere.
To ease your brain, just to ease that massive brain inside that little melon, dude. Just if you find yourself stuck in the water, just kick your legs.
Just keep
That's all you
kicking.
gotta do.
Just keep kicking.
Just keep kicking.
All right.
Someone will come for you, or you'll die or get eaten by a shark.
Well, on the
Ari.
plus side, I usually have water breathing. I know that one. It's just I'm definitely going to be preparing that one tonight because I don't think I prepared it. I wasn't really expecting water time.
Wait, so you guys came through a portal we'd established, right? I
Yeah.
think. Yeah. And then Ari was a princess, and
Yeah.
Valari probably just stabbed things there too.
Yeah.
Well, how did
Valari-
you guys get
Valari, you
here?
hear your name at this point. Do you wish to join in?
I will around. I'm like, why are you talking about me?
Talking about all of us.
What? I'm filling him in. We haven't given him enough backstory. So yes,
see-
so
We saved the stone people, kinda, and now
now we get to chill on a boat. We're on a boat.
I believe technically it's a ship.
Yes. So, oh yes, Valari.
Oh, what did you tell him about me?
Literally nothing yet. We just got to our story. Do you want to tell your part of it?
No.
Okay, I'll tell your part of it.
All right, here we
So
go.
years ago, Valari and I actually met in a pub. And, well, let's just say, we talked each other's ears off. And by that, I mean, I think I did most of the talking, if I'm remembering correctly, Valari. I did most of the talking. But, you see, Valari, being a tiefling, was one that I had not encountered often. Much like our Ericocraphant, who really, I do want to go talk to him more, because that is fascinating. He's part bird, but part human. Just the ideas of it. But anyway, so I met her first. Well, I met her before we met up again. And so then when we bumped into each other again, I was already traveling with Rumil, who had met me in a temple at one point. And so then we were traveling again together, and we wound up in town, and Ari was with Valari, and then all of a sudden these ghouls or ghosts starting attacking the town. And that's when because we both sprang into action, as true adventurers were, and we fought the ghosts, and I was like, "Hey, Valari, good to see you again." And she was like, well, honestly, she was like, "How are you?" But we started traveling together, especially after we chased down TikTok, who's now in a sword. So weird that that's a thing. But after trying to defeat a master villain in that world, well, we got close, but then wound up going through a portal because he went through a portal after stealing a very important object from us, which was totally rude. We got there first. So then we came through the portal, but time and space are a funny thing. He wound up getting there hours before us, and we were hours behind. So we eventually caught up with him and, well, destroyed his evil, and then made our way across the lands because we had to get out of the town because Ari was technically a runaway guard member. And then we wound up in, well, the place that we became lords. Oh, yes, we found out during that time that Ari was really a princess from back home. So that was kind of like, oh, darn, I can't really use that to our advantage in a new world. You know what I mean? But then we all became kings and queens anyway, which was after meeting this drow, which, is any of this making sense? It's a long story.
There was a portal And you're here.
Yes.
Got it. But so you're intimidated by Ari because she's a queen? Is that why you're calling off the wedding, my dude?
No. Again, I feel like everyone misinterpreted that moment. But no, really, I have much honor and respect for her. I mean, she is royalty, and therefore, as an adventurer, I would be one to help protect her. So I just feel an extra sense of. But then we found out that we all technically were. Even Valari apparently had some sort of royal lineage or something, and well, Rumiel, Drackland, well, he was already a lord, so that one made sense, and well, my own past being what it is, but yes.
So you're not calling off the wedding.
It's not.
Look at, I'm a very simple man.
Yes.
As this wedding talk and backstory has all happened, we're going to sidestep a moment. Ari, you had stormed off a little bit ago with all the wedding talk. Where do you think you would have gone?
Probably would check out the ship because we just got right on it before going back to my quarters to get some rest.
Yeah, so we're gonna do a sidestep here, and Ari, you've been able to walk about like the upper deck. You do see the captain's quarters, the quarters that were assigned to you. There's a small little like viewing platform in the back that has a looking glass, so you're able to look across the ocean if you wish. You bypass the group still talking. You see Garth and Thadric talking. And at the front of the ship, you're able to find that there's the main navigation where you see a few of the deckhands working on just kind of navigating, pinpointing. You see them kind of looking up into the sky and pointing out, and you see a compass moving about, and they're really working hard, and they kind of wave at you and go back to their work. You do see a couple spots where you could go below deck if you wished. And every time you've passed by, it's been kind of noisy underneath. It sounds like whoever's on the ship is here having a blast and trying to keep spirits up as Doom is chasing you all. Is there any of that you'd like to step into briefly before we get back to wedding talk?
Well, in that case,
case.
I think hearing sounds of a party downstairs, Ari would be intrigued of what's going on.
Yeah, as you step below deck, a very steep set of stairs drop into the deck below. As you get underneath, there's lanterns hanging throughout to provide light. It seems almost like you stepped into a mess hall pub area where some of the crew and travelers are just hanging out and drinking and sharing food. There's all sorts of smells of cooked meats and breads and vegetables and other things you don't even recognize that you've not seen, potentially from distant lands. You two notice there's the giant bird sitting off in the corner as he's made his way below deck and enjoying a pint himself. You do see throughout as well, there's various creatures you've not met. But as you step in, a young man walks up and hands you a stein that is full of what smells like a mead or a beer. And his skin is a very pale blue and his eyes are completely blue. And you feel a breeze as he comes up next to you. And his hair and clothing kind of just tussles as if there's a light breeze constantly blowing on him. And he looks across the room. It's just a wonderful party that we're having here, isn't it?
I mean, it looks cool. I just got here. What's the occasion?
Well, there's some of us traveling from distant lands who haven't seen one another for many years. The presence of a certain magical item on this ship has brought us all together once again.
Once again? So, like,
Yes.
you've done this before? This is a
Well,
reunion?
We've met many times as our lands have crossed for war, for trade, for various other things. See, I'm from multiple boat trips away, many days travel. we have a magical, enchanted land of many of my folk. And he kind of looks down at himself and puts a hand up. I'm sure you don't see many blue people around. There's many colors and many enchanted people like myself. My name is Reginald. What is yours?
Reginald.
Yes.
Very well. I'm Ari. Give me a hand.
Nice to meet you, Ari. And as you reach out and you shake his hand, you feel a breeze come off of him. Something that, again, is mildly startling to you.
What? I'm so sorry. What are you?
Well, I'd like to say I'm human, but I am a genasi. We're an elemental folk. Our families are human generally, but we've been cursed, blessed, however you may like to call it, and some of us are imbued with the elements. I myself, a bit of wind runs in my family.
Okay, I was picking up on that.
Yes.
Because we're not on the deck, we're down here. And I was like, whoa, where's that breeze coming from?
Let's just say it makes it hard to light a candle.
Wow.
Yeah.
But probably really easy to blow them out on your birthday. Is that a thing where you're from?
Not that tradition of sorts.
Okay.
But
Well, never mind.
enjoy this brew, and I'm sure if you haven't yet met, there's a few key folks here that will be speaking, I believe. Oh, and he looks at you again. Ari, you're part of the party that has. Oh, well, yes. We will be speaking tomorrow. You will get to meet a few more of us as we try to solve this powerful problem. And he lets out a little bit of a chuckle, and as he starts to walk away and wave to you, you feel almost a breeze kind of push him away. And he steps into the crowd and starts dancing alongside a few other people in the mix. So you're standing there now, kind of hair tousled a bit from the breeze with a beer in hand.
Cool.
Now, back to the backstory crew. Anything going on there? Do you need to pose for your new album cover, the backstory crew?
Yeah.
Backstory's back. All right.
All right.
I'm glad we were there together.
that wasn't planned for, but thank you. I greatly appreciate that.
That's how in sync we are.
I
That
feel
was
like
the hard part.
I feel like it would have been just more explanations from Garth and more Thad just not getting the minutia of detail of things. But yeah, I figured we'd keep working in unless there's any other particular conversations we need to have. Like, I know I'm gonna do a sword for Ari to replace her longsword. Are there any other metal crafting things that need to be done? Because Valari doesn't really. I mean, you have daggers, right? But you don't.
I have two.
You don't like get up in there.
You don't do blink daggers, do you?
I can only make the items. It's on you to enchant them, my dude.
Okay. I don't even think I know. What would that be? I'd have to like control it with Misty Step.
As you're figuring that out, a horn sounds on deck, and a voice yells out, "Ship change!" And you see a bit of hustle as a few people come stumbling out from under deck. Some looking like they just woke up, some looking like they didn't sleep and maybe are a little drunk. And they shuffle through. 5 or 6 come up to the deck where you're at and start
wait.
cleaning.
Did you just say they just stumbled on out?
They just stumbled on up. Yes.
Because of the inn, I get it.
Yeah.
Stumble on it.
So a few of them come out from below deck and start kind of cleaning around the forge area. A few head up front. You see the navigators swap out. There have been a couple pacing throughout, kind of as watch. watchmen, guards, etc. They change out over the course of the next couple minutes, and so you see a few faces pass as it is now dark.
Oh, time certainly does fly around here, doesn't it?
Yeah. Have you guys been to your rooms?
No, I just, well, I mean, I walked around, just kind of got a lay of the land. I mean, right, we're on a boat. Ship. Yes, I was shown where the quarters are, though. Laurie, you want me to grab you a bucket so you can make it there, or is that drink helping you out?
No, I thought I had earlier already been to my room.
Oh, right.
You talked about
peeked
that.
in,
They
yeah.
were like
Yep.
wandering around, and I went
You
in.
peeked in.
You know.
I turned around saying that. I'm like, well, because I've just been standing here like this.
For like 8 hours.
That's awkward. I definitely said a few things to her. Just figured she wasn't feeling good. All right.
Well, I appreciate your help, little dude.
You are welcome.
Ari,
It's
as
nice.
the shift change is called out, you notice that the party kind of calms down, and there's a few people just eating and drinking normally after a couple minutes. You see some people go even further below deck, where you believe sleeping quarters and other things are, and then a few go up to the top deck.
Cool. I would probably try to grab some food, a doggy bag of sorts, because I'm guessing my friends upstairs haven't eaten. So I'll try to grab a little something to take up, and I'm gonna head towards our quarters.
Yeah, you don't find any containers per se, but you do see that there's a various amount of wooden plates of different sizes. You find one about serving platter size that you're able to just throw a few things on.
Cool. So I'm gonna borrow this.
There you go. No one really seems to care. One man kind of looks up from the big bite of some poultry that he's eaten and kind of lets out a and keeps eating, just like, okay, I see you, whatever. But no one else seems to bat an eye.
Cool.
Party, it is
I mean,
nightfall.
I think Garth would probably head back to the room.
Yeah. As you're all heading back, you bump into one another. Ari bringing up a big plate of food. Astro is running around with the handle part of the broom, just enjoying it and blinking here and there across the deck, just being a puppy. And then he puts his nose up and runs up, and it's like walking right next to Ari, just staring up at her, drooling as he notices there's the smell of meat coming from the plate that she's carrying around. I think, Valari, you said you'd retired to just go rest for a little bit?
Yeah.
All right. As you do make your way back to the rooms, there's two small rooms, each with two cots, a small table. You each have a window in there. Valari's in one. There's the second one that's fully open. Under the table, you each see that there's a couple small chests that you can lock away any items if you wish. But it's not really much. It's enough to just lay your head down and rest if you wish.
Cool. I'll give them some food, toss something to Astro, and then I'm gonna head into the room with Valari.
All right.
I walk into the room that I assume Garth and I are going to use, and I take out Linus, and I'm just like, what's the protocol here?
I mean, we definitely rented one room at an inn, and then just set up Linus in the inn to get a little more space, a little more comfort.
Well, because he probably likes to not be in a ball, right?
Yes, I'm sure. I mean, it's always good to get those pillow goblins some fresh air every now and then.
All right, I'm gonna start setting him up then.
Cedric, as you start to see how big the space is, you're able to tilt one of the beds on its side and stack the table on the other bed so you can make enough room to set this tent up. And by the time you lay it out, you and Garth are kind of by side, pushed up near the door. There's not a lot of space. It's a tiny room, and the tiny tent seems gigantic in here. But you're able to lay it out, and the flaps kind of breeze open, and you hear inside a very similar horn, but a little bit more comical to the shift change horn that you heard a few minutes ago. Peeking your head in, you see that there's a very silly rendition of a ship. And on the sides of the ship, there's some pillow goblins sitting there throwing blue pillows up in the air, like splashing in front of it. And there's one pillow goblin pacing the very small deck with a very silly hat that looks kind of like a sailor's captain's hat. So that's what you get a glimpse of as you two set up the fort in a room that's barely big enough to hold.
I think we made the right choice.
Oh yes, definitely.
Then I head on in.
You get greeted with a few salutes and a few dabs as the pillow goblins recognize the Hydra crew.
Hail
Or part
Hydra.
of the Hydra crew.
I guess we start setting up, getting ready for bed.
Yeah, pillows galore. You may make your bedding wherever. Do you just set this up and allow it to be yours for the night, or do you wish to alert the ladies next door?
I think it's a Garth and Thad kind of thing tonight.
Yeah.
I think
Insert,
we had the wherewithal to set it up, so
insert pillow fight montage between you two.
exactly. Garth
Drink
finishes
some
his
hot cocoa.
tale about how everyone met.
Bores Thadric to sleep.
I pull out one of my many books. Wait, where'd it go?
I'm just picturing a montage of them like jumping on pillows, hitting each other with pillows, and it's girls just wanna have fun.
Yeah.
Like,
We're sitting on the edge like this and kicking our feet at times.
Yeah. Still in full armor.
There's all my extra books. I would pull out. Let's see, which book would I pull out tonight? Oh, I would pull out the in-depth knowledge and understanding of the bumblebee because I'm pretty much like on the last few pages of it.
Yeah.
So that's my nightly reading. I'm just learning about the bumblebee. And as I kind of finish it up, right before as we're quieting down, I'm like, that was a fun. Hey, Thadric, you said Sandra was a
Sandra.
bookworm.
No, she's a human
Z? Wait, is it with a Z?
with an X.
Yeah, Sandra.
Sandra.
No, he said He said with an X.
Sandra.
Wait. Oh, X.
It's
Xandra.
like the espresso.
Xandra.
Espresso.
Yeah. Same thing.
Yeah, well, on my island,
Sandra.
would she like you think she'd like this? It's an in-depth knowledge and understanding of the bumblebee. Just a little light reading I picked up.
I mean, I've never known her to say no to a book. She one time said, draw your wisdom from many places. So, that's a place.
Well, here you go. A little souvenir from your trip, other than a ring that you can bring her.
Well, thank you. I hold it, put it like, tuck it in my backpack. That hour before sleep, probably while Garth was kind of finishing up there, Thad would go over into a corner, just kind of sit, meditate, and after about an hour, a very finely honed and crafted longsword is now in front of him with the like Thad's brand, his maker mark, I guess, in the hilt of it.
Nice.
Leather, a crimson leather wrapped tang. You got it.
There you go. Beautiful sword appears.
Yeah.
Now, meanwhile, Ari, Balari, and Astro are in the other room. Anything that you wish to do to close out the night or plan for tomorrow?
Sleep.
Sleep.
I'm tired.
Astro sits there licking the plate clean as you ladies are crawling into bed, and looks around and starts sniffing at the boots and at the bags just to see if there's any other food laying about for himself, as puppies do.
They don't seem to have thought about this, and they're going to bed, but they brought in a dog who hasn't been on land for many hours, who's been eating and drinking things.
Yep.
And I'm just saying, there's boots around. So paint that picture however you want, but I'm just adding to it.
You are not the DM.
I'm just saying.
You are not the DM.
No one said I take Astro, hold Astro over the edge and say,
Not
go to
my
the
job.
bathroom.
Have you ever tried that with a dog? That doesn't work. I'm sure there's somewhere that he's like relieved himself already or something.
Yeah, somewhere on deck he's relieved himself.
Yeah.
Probably on one of the center
The poop
masts.
deck.
On the poop deck. Ha 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 ha.
Oh, it's right there.
It was right there. Well,
Or I would go with him and just like prestidigitate like some grassy.
look here, it's fake grass. Now, as you all settle off into sleep, the night passes, and you are awoken by knocks on the door. First, on the ladies' room. Doom, 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 doom. Sun's up. And then next on the guys' room. Doom, 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 doom. Sun's up. And that's all you hear as light does peek into the windows. The women see it. The men are currently in Pillow Fortopia and don't get to see all of that so far.
Also, it's been established that is not a morning person.
Yeah, neither, sorry. Did they bring
And-
me the Java?
No, they just banged on the door to give you your wake-up call.
Rogue.
The Java.
I've probably already been awake. So I just head on up.
Yeah,
I think.
as you head out, you do notice that there are a few smaller vessels that are sailing alongside the one that you're on. They
Mhm.
each have the cloud symbol on their sails, and they also have a little bit of the metallic inlays around. You do believe it might be piping or other stuff that you've seen on this vessel. So very similar. It looks like there's a small fleet now, kind of growing.
Huh. This is interesting. There's more of these boats than I thought there were going to be. Shit.
Remember when I said we're an island nation, my dude?
Yes, I just still getting used to it.
As
Just remember, kick the legs.
Kick the legs. As you were all coming out of the rooms, the smell of meats being cooked emanates through the boards of the deck. Ari the night before had seen where the food had been at least set out to have, but the rest of you are just smelling potential breakfast and have no idea where it's coming from.
Follow me.
All right.
I'm gonna walk that way.
As you
Do
head to the same little entry to the mess area, you walk down and it's a lot quieter this morning. There's a few people eating, cleaning up, and hustling about, but there's no party that was going on before. There's a few small platters of food set up roughly on a table that look like the cook just kind of tossed up there and didn't really set with any beauty. And a few of the glances that come your direction kind of eyeball the fact that there's a tiefling and a dog and a few others in the midst that weren't before. You notice that you're being watched a little bit by a handful of people down here as you're able to get your breakfast.
When I arrive at the table,
Yep.
I want to set in front of Ari the new longsword.
It's so pretty. Thank you.
As promised. Wait, I don't know what voice that was.
Thadric just goes into some.
Wow, that was a rough night.
Yeah, y'all not get much sleep? I know those beds weren't very comfortable, were they?
I look at Garth and go, no. And the
Not at
constant
all.
rocking was horrible.
This is,
Also, I never took down Linus in the morning. It's still up in the room. Just
I put the longsword in my sheath.
As you do that and have your breakfast, the blue man that Arya had met the evening before strides up and sits down with a bit of breeze that blows across the table.
Hey, Reggie! Or, sorry, Reginald. People call you Reggie?
Reggie is
my father's name.
very slang. We don't call one another shortened names.
Really? You're missing out. People had to call me Aurelia all the time. Anyways, Reginald is a...
Are you telling me that I was misspeaking your name? Is it Aurelia?
No,
Yes,
it's
it
just...
is.
Well, in that case, Aurelia.
Princess Aurelia. Queen Aurelia.
Queen Aurelia. May I get introduced
Queen
to
Aurelia
the rest
the
of your
betrothed.
party?
Yeah, this is Thad, Rick. This is Valari, and this is Gartholomew.
Okay, but
Gartholomew,
wouldn't your culture
Valari,
also
and
think it's...
Thadric.
No, my name isn't actually... My full name is Goth, so she's being disrespectful by adding to my name.
It's a sign of respect.
Mhm. He shakes his head, and as he does, a strong gust of wind kind of blasts
okay.
across you all.
Okay, I'm gonna
You can
need
tell
to get
he's a little upset at the shenanigans that are happening.
Wait, who's this guy?
Reginald.
I am Reginald. I am one of the envoys for my nation. As I had spoken to Aurelia the evening before, we are many, many days away from my nation, but we are here to help with the power that you possess.
I think we got it under control.
Well, if the scouts are saying otherwise, there's been sightings of krakens and other beasts attempting
What?
to find this vessel.
Okay, maybe
If you wish to take one of the smaller vessels and lead them away and use your powers, you may, but do not endanger the hundreds of lives on this vessel.
I'm gonna eat my breakfast.
Perfect. Well, Valari, Thadric, and Garth, we will be above deck briefly to sort out what the next steps are and how our nations may help one another.
Is there like a big volcano on this Earth? Because maybe we could just go take it up there and throw the power in. If it's like really, really hot, maybe it would.
I think they want to use the power to save their own worlds before destroying it, much like we saved Stonehaven.
Yeah, but listen, using a great power that is evil to try to save your nation.
Is the power evil, or is the power, the way it is used, evil? I mean, with great power comes great responsibility. If you don't use it, well, then, well.
Well, many words for no action, but we
I'm sorry,
did.
Okay, you gotta hold up there.
We did
Hold up, wait a minute.
discuss. We did discuss throwing it into volcanoes, but there are some of my folk that live amongst the lava, and it would not be too hard to access that. Also, I'm sure there's beasts of various demeanors that would enjoy swimming through lava to reach the power. But that's another story. Sir Bartholomew, on the other hand, does have a strong point on what must be done. Yes, there is a need for power in our society to ensure that our lineage continues with the elemental blessings. You see this light skin of mine. Usually, one with such a gift as mine is a very bright blue, but not for myself. Our power is fading, and seems like many have issues with that. The Warforged folk who are helping us with these vessels definitely need their forge to be fired again. So, Aurelia, Bartholomew, Valari, Thadric, and companion dog, we will request your presence above deck shortly. And he bows and stands there briefly for any final words.
It really is just Garth. Like, her full name is Aurelia, but mine is just Garth. Garth Underfoot. If you want to add my last name, that's cool.
All right, Garth Underfoot.
Cool, that one, I'm good with that. Cool. Yes, we'll be up in a bit. We'll help sort all of this out.
We will speak soon. And he hustles above deck with a breeze that follows him. Party, what is it you do with this new-ish information?
Finish the food.
Finish the food. The most important thing
Yeah.
is the food.
It's
Yeah.
kind of rude that he interrupted while we were eating, but
Right.
I believe chat is also coming up with wonderful names for High Lord Bartholomew, Lord of Bees, and House of Underfoot.
So Ari,
Yeah.
when'd you meet that dude?
Last night they were throwing a rager. I came down, got a drink, said hi. It's when I brought you all dinner.
Ah,
Apparently they do this sometimes. Like these guys have all met. We're being kind of invited to some council of. Hopefully they're not all as uptight as he is.
usually councils are. Do you remember the Eladrin? They were.
Oh, they were. Well, the orange dude was. Is he here? Anybody seen
I
Orangey?
think I saw him.
Okay.
isn't he dead?
No, orange one made it.
The other colors are no more.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about those not robot, because I wouldn't know what that is.
Because I would know that is the Warforged.
What about those Warforged dudes? Have we seen them at all?
You did see a few as you came on board. One seemingly the captain of the vessel, and a handful that you had met before.
Yeah.
Are we gonna be in trouble for taking the thing?
I don't think so. I think they want to protect it and help.
I mean,
Nobody had called dibs. We technically didn't do anything wrong. We took evil power from evil place, did good, and
it seems like they've been trying to get the Stone of Power. We are the only ones to have succeeded.
yeah.
And,
So we're just like better than everybody.
I mean,
Nice.
we shouldn't say that, but if they try
You're
to claim
not
otherwise,
wrong.
they have ships and ships worth of people, apparently, who couldn't get the job done. But that's the thing is, sometimes the best party is the smaller party. It goes unseen, while larger groups are what would be focused upon.
It's pretty deep, my dude.
Well, this is just strategy.
I like to think that I'm rubbing off on you.
Oh, it's also that. Your wisdom.
He's great and knows no bounds.
Now, above deck, you hear a bit of a hustle. Some boots running across the deck.
Are there tabaxi up there? Are there boots and cats?
Maybe.
Did there arise such a clatter?
Also, Tripio is my new favorite. That's
You hear a crunch as the vessel gets sunken by a kraken that just sucks you underneath.
sunken by a kraken.
I cast water breathing. I heard it last night.
No, you hear boots hustling about. no shouting, no yelling or voices that you could tell. It just seems like there's a bit of motion, but without any reason that you know.
Should we head up? Everyone done with breakfast?
Yeah.
I know. I'm always sad to see it finished as well.
I miss those muffins or those whatever.
I miss Java.
As you're all missing things,
So does Ari.
Hmm?
She said, so does Ari.
a familiar little kobold face comes running past. Congratulations! Oh,
Bam!
You do connect. You knock the kobold over, and he goes sliding across the floor. And he stands up, clutching his face a little bit.
Sorry, I knew not another word. I shouldn't have said that. I'm just gonna
I
go
also probably
breakfast.
shouldn't have punched you. Sorry.
Yes, you should apologize. That is so rude.
I told him to stop teasing me. I just got flashbacks to.
To what?
Look how much smaller that dude
Living
is.
alone with your grandfather?
Yeah. You would tease me. Oh, you think that tree's cool? I don't know.
I don't think
The-
that's really...
There's no
The-
people. I don't like being picked on, but I shouldn't pick on you. I should use my strength for better things.
Okay. Did you
I'm
get
going to the meeting.
Did you get enough sleep? And he's holding his face, and he reaches up and grabs a bit of meat off of the main table, and just holds it there and backs away from you. And he goes,
It's okay. It'll heal up soon.
and as he moves his hand, his eyes quickly swollen up. He bites the meat and hustles above deck.
Did he just put that on his face
No,
and then
he
eat it?
held it back, and then he took a bite of it. But you saw when he pulled his hand down to
Oh,
like
okay.
really gnaw on the thing, because it's a big piece of meat to him.
Gotcha. I don't know if it was the like steak on the eye to
No,
make the swelling go
no.
down.
He was just holding his eye from being decked and sliding across the floor. But he hustles up and seemingly gets out of your hair as quickly as he can. Now, you do hear a couple of short blasts of a horn above deck, and some shouts that you can't quite understand what they're saying, but the sound of movement gets a bit stronger. So there's a lot of things happening above deck now.
All right. Come on now. Yes, it's meeting time.
Okay.
Now, as you emerge above,
Before we go into the meeting, I want to be like, I may not be much use in this meeting. I'm not a smart man.
But you are wise.
Beyond your years.
Really? Because I'm like over 50.
Ew, really? Guys, he's over 50.
Dude, your fiance's like half your age.
I'm checking that. Oh no, I'm 48. Well, it's been a year since I wrote that down, so I'm 49.
yeah. Now,
Wait, when was my birthday? I don't remember a
you're
cake.
probably battling something, probably patting fire out on your shoulder from a dragon or the explosion in Standing Rock. Who knows? But yeah, maybe
that
you were
tracks.
lucky and you had your birthday while you were serving as king in Standing Rock. It is possible. But
possible.
as things are happening above deck, a head peeks down. An older man. Make sure you cover the hatches. Latch them up when you're done. And you notice there's a couple of the hatches you'd seen from the outside, kind of windows, but like just a swinging piece of wood that aren't locked up. Most of them are locked up with the little pin and hook. But you see a couple near you that are kind of bouncing a little bit in the breeze. There's
I cast Mage Hand and like pull it shut and latch it.
You're able to latch a couple of them up, and then you see another couple people that are finishing their breakfast, locking up and hustling below deck as well.
What's going on, my man?
Oh, usually when they tell us to close up the hatches, there's something that they've spotted. It could be rain, it could be wind, it could be something that
Crack.
Well, I hope not. I've only seen one in my life. Those are scary. I don't
They
know if
are,
you've seen them,
right?
but whew. So it could be another ship. It could be a vessel trying to come our way. Don't know, but that usually also means careful. So careful. And he hustles down the deck and latches a few
You
more
too.
windows. Thank you.
I turn to Thadric. I'm really glad I prepared water breathing.
Thad's just looking after that guy that was just here. He's like, I feel like that dude's a kindred spirit. And I want to, while we're gathering things and kind of getting ready to go up, I want to turn to Ari and be like, did you see Garth, how he closed that hatch like he's a real sail dude? Cool. And then I go upstairs.
It's not a word. I'll follow.
Patrick, as you emerge, you see a handful of people looking off to the side of the vessel, one with a spyglass in hand, and the others just like murmuring and talking together. There's a few others that are just leaning over the edge and pointing and putting their hands up and looking as if they're trying to figure out what's going on. And as you're able to get a glimpse, there seems to be a small island not too far out. But you're in the deep of the ocean that you believe. And you hear some murmurs. Oh, I think the island's moving. No, it can't be moving. It's an island. Why would an island move? And there's a bit of commotion around what has been spotted.
When Garth comes up the stairs, I just kind of look at him and make like a kicky leg motion.
Yep.
And then I'll point out and be like, they say that's moving? We don't have a spyglass anywhere, do we?
There's one at the back of the ship that Ari had found. It's a mounted spyglass. It seems to be bigger than what they're using.
Let's go look at this thing.
Valari
And I'll
and
go
Astro in
back.
tow.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll go back and look through that thing.
Yeah, as you all hustle to the back, interestingly enough, no one's there looking through the spyglass. And as Thadric, you put an eye up to it and point to this little island, you believe you see the island kind of bouncing in the water a little bit. Much more than an island should, because, they're stationary things. You do notice a handful of trees, a few small beaches. So this thing is a few 100 feet long and a few 100 feet deep, as far as you can understand. And just as you are taking a peek at it, you notice that it comes up a little bit more, and it looks like it's sitting on some stone almost.
I'm currently looking something up because
Yep.
Oh, maybe it's on this one. Didn't need to. I didn't need to prepare that one
Valari, as
because it's a ritual.
they're all kind of mumbling and looking
I
about.
think you still need to prepare the
Mhm.
rituals. It doesn't take a slot to cast them. Because I think you're looking at the same thing I'm looking at.
No, when it comes to wizards, if it's in your book, you can cast it as a ritual, even though you don't have the spell prepared.
You just have to have the book.
Because I have rituals too,
Yeah.
but I think I have to prepare them for the day. But they don't
Yes,
take a slot.
clerics are different than wizards in that capacity.
Okay.
Well, darn, okay. I'm gonna go back and adjust those spell slots because Garth would have known that better than Nathan.
Garth would have known that. Yeah.
So as soon as that starts happening, like as soon as we start coming upstairs and there's a little hustle and bustle, Garth is going to start ritually casting water breathing to include all the
Alright.
members of his party because it's a ritual and it grants up to 10
There you
willing
go.
creatures.
Well, I guess seeing that, and after seeing the moving island,
Yep.
I'll also sit down and begin to cast ritualistically water walk on all of us.
There you go. Anyone else peeking through the spyglass as Thaddeus has looked? No one else? Just Thadric? Okay. Ari, you
I'd
see very much the same thing. Can I have you roll perception, please?
Yeah. It's an 18 on the die plus 4.
Okay.
22.
As you see the island, you believe you see a bit of rock or something come up on the far side and then sink back under fairly quickly. So there is definitely motion or movement there. Now, Valari, as they're all looking, Astro kind of peeks his head forward and looks through some of the rungs and then lets out a grr and a bark and then backs up and tucks right between your legs and looks up at you and lets out a little whimper as he's a bit nervous.
The captain
No,
close.
it's pretty quiet back here. The rest of the crew is either above the sleeping quarters that you had on an upper deck where they're doing the control of the boat, and then there's a bunch up at the front doing the navigation, and then there's some hustle and bustle across the deck, working on sails and keeping the ship moving very quickly. As you're casting
Okay.
these ritualistic versions of your spells, you do notice that you believe, even though you're sailing kind of alongside of where the island would be, not going towards it, the island seems to be coming closer to you.
That thing is definitely moving.
Not good. I gotta just keep focusing on the casting until you tell me 10 minutes has passed.
Yeah, 10 minutes has not yet passed. Now, there is a clink and a clank of what seems to be metallic boots coming hustling back towards you all. It's a warforged that is of a different build than the more humanoid looks. This one is kind of squatty and has a bit more of like if you took kind of like a rock creature bottom, so like very heavy booted, with what seems like a human face, but on one arm there's a big boiling pot, a clear pot of liquid that seems to be attached into like the shoulder and forearm, and then the other one is a small claw hand structure. You notice in the chest of this thing that there seems to be a bunch of metal balls that are formed and just kind of like stashed within. And this warforged comes up. You must be careful. There is potential for danger. And he points the claw finger out towards the island. We believe that is not an island.
You are right.
Well, be prepared for the worst. And he hustles off as quickly as he came back to let you know.
I don't know how to do that.
What?
Well, on land, I know how to, be prepared, but on a boat?
Without like really stopping the casting, just go up and just kick your legs.
Yeah, Dad and I are working on it.
Now, as we're nearing the 10 minutes of the casting time, you hear a lot of motion, a lot of clinks and clunks. And then off the edges of the boat, you hear wood smacking as you believe that potentially some of those portholes are being swung open very quickly. Those that aren't casting do notice that the island continues to get closer and closer. And as it does, some of the island starts sliding off of what seems to be rock. And you see almost a geometric pattern of sorts underneath the bits of the island. There's a bit of dirt and sand and a couple lone palm trees kind of stuck in the middle. And as it gets closer, a giant turtle-like head rears up out of the water and lets out a large screeching scream, and then tucks back underwater, and the island sinks under with it. And there's bubbles and splashes a few hundred feet out. And as it continues to bubble and splash closer, one of the ships in the rear between you and where this creature was kind of rocks funny, and a big maw comes up and almost nearly fully engulfs the thing. The boat was, I'd say, at biggest about a third of your vessel, but still, it's scary that the mouth had almost fully covered this vessel, pulls it under, and only a bit of sail is left floating. There's quite a splash of water, and waves ripple across, and you feel it rock your boat. And you see some of the other boats tilt a bit, and crews on them hustling about, trying to keep afloat. You hear blasts of horns and shouts and screams on your vessel and all of the others. And as that happens, there's a little pitter-patter of the same kobold that you had punched earlier.
I'm sorry, I'm not gonna say anything. You should probably get off the back of the vessel so you don't fall. That's how we lost a few of my friends.
Okay.
Don't ever stack 3 kobolds in a trench coat and hope to look out the back of a vessel when it's rocking. Oh, the top 2 go away very quickly if splashed incorrectly.
And he runs up to the front.
Don't tell us what to do.
Let's go, guys.
Have I finished casting?
You finish casting about the time that he is finishing his little 3 kobolds in a trench coat story.
Okay, so you all feel this rush of magic over you, and you take deep breaths in, and you're still gaining, but I feel like you just feel like this magic on your neck. Gills don't necessarily open up there, but it's kind of like, I mean, it's probably like Waterworld, where like they would open if you went underwater. You know, it's whereas Kevin Costner's were behind his ears, right?
Yeah. I think part of it is you might feel that as you take a breath in, you don't feel it come straight through your nose fully. You feel it kind of come in through the sides of your neck, as well as you now have a little bit more space to breathe in, more cavities to
and
fill.
so this is going to last for 24 hours.
Nice.
Okay.
There you go.
Y'all
Mine
can
doesn't last
breathe
that
underwater for 24 hours.
We live that long.
You lived that long.
Garth is, and this isn't even a concentration spell. Garth is gonna, like, realizing his situation and just the way life works. From now on, at the start of the day, Garth is casting Breathe Water.
Breathe water and some like epically formed feather fall or other things.
Yeah.
Mine isn't as noticeable, but if you're like we're like walking away, you step on a puddle like that they hadn't quite swept up yet. It's like stepping on oobleck with like a cornstarch material,
Oh yeah.
where it gives a little bit, but you don't like get wet and you don't sink into it.
Mm-hmm.
But that only lasts for an hour.
So,
If you live that long.
I think Cedric and I finished. And I'm like, I kind of feel that in my feet. I'm like, oh yes, wonderful thought, Cedric. Wonderful thought.
In case we have to run.
Right. Should we perhaps get off the back of the boat, as was suggested by the kobold?
Yeah, Ari was already moving.
Oh, all right. Okay, she's moving. We should protect the princess.
You would say that. I looked to Valari.
Nudges her a little bit. I'm sure you have the rings handy and you show them off, right?
Yeah, I show Valari.
Also, Jared.
Cedric has a new quest.
Oh, what were you saying?
Cedric's new quest is to wingman Garth so hard.
His one and only quest, the epic wingman. Garth, Nathan, you had something.
Yeah, I was just picturing that giant turtle thing. Should I
Yeah.
be picturing kind of like that part in the Pokemon movie? Detective Pikachu, those big old turtles, kind of like
That's
those
where you
guys.
We didn't.
Or like an
Sure.
avatar with Aang
Let-
talking to the
I
dragon
said we
turtle.
didn't see that. So
I would say it's probably closer to Avatar. But I,
Cool.
I will use the
Guys-
power of the internet in a few minutes to double check what this Pikachu turtle is because I want to see this Pikachu turtle.
a Pikachu turtle, isn't that just Squirtle?
No, this was different. There were different ones. Like there's one type of turtle out there.
Now,
It's like one.
Well, yeah, Pokemon now is like 2,000.
as you
Pokemon kind of went.
as you're hustling
if you
back
ask
to
me.
the main part of the deck, you notice a few more of these constructs, the Warforged creatures, like the one you just met, with the very large, sturdy feet, setting up alongside, pointing out with the one arm with the boiling vessel on their shoulder, pointing off the edge. And as they kind of set up, parts of their what seems to be ankle kind of shoot out and stick down into the deck a little bit and really hold them in. They seem to be taking up point. Now, as you see this happen, you see along the edges, there's a few spots that have almost seems to be like sockets for these guys to lock themselves down into the deck. And you believe now that they're getting prepared for a fight. You just don't know what they will do per se. A few more shouts come across, and as they do, the water out by one of the other vessels shifts and bounces in waves, and you see a giant turtle creature go jumping up and over and splashing with a wave this one vessel, and it tips and flips over almost like a small boat in a bathtub. Yes, Garth.
What's the distance on that turtle?
The turtle is about 300-ish feet out. So when it does do the splash, a few seconds later, a wave hits up against the side of this boat and splashes up onto the deck of the ship that you're on. And this... yes?
No. What were you?
Oh, he said no.
No?
No.
No, it doesn't happen? There's no turtle?
No, I just meant. Sorry, I thought you were. Were you about to say this is where we're gonna take a break?
This is where we're going to take a break. We
No!
need to get ready for this turtle that may or may not eat you. I mean, I can go 5 more minutes and I can roll some stacked 20s here and have it just eat the ship.
Why do I want to be eaten by a
Let's break.
turtle?
Let's take a break.
Let's take a break.
Okay, cool. We're going to take a 10-minute break as the cast has to be prepared for their inevitable doom. I mean, for this battle of who knows what, as a giant dragon turtle is, kind of coming at them.
Bum bum
So
bum.
we'll see you guys in about 10 minutes. Enjoy these nice shout outs to our sponsors, and see you soon.
Sorry.
And that's how the dragon turtle killed them all. Oh, we weren't live. Oh, let's redo that, guys. Cool. So welcome back. Reroll. The last 10 minutes of break. The players were texting me all sorts of nasty things about how they're gonna die to a turtle and how that's not fair. Send help.
Why are you
Turtles?
lying to the people?
Oh, yeah. I'm a DM. That's what I do. I have to put this nice, beautiful front. Actually, I've not heard anything from my players. I just unplugged my earpiece and walked off. So
Yeah, we ignore you.
now, players, you may say those nasty things as this dragon turtle comes closer and closer.
I cast Murder Dragon Turtle.
Murder. What? Let me look that
It's
one
a,
up. I can't
it's a
remember.
super specific spell. I focused in it when I was a young child.
Oh, that's the spell you ran past me earlier. Oh, I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
I cleared it with you.
Yeah, you cleared it with me. Yes. But did you read the fine print of that one? It does say it kills every humanoid within a 400-foot radius.
That's fine.
That's fine. Just murder the whole ship and the dragon turtles.
I run 450 feet out on the water.
We have water walk now.
Well, welcome back. We're here watching this dragon turtle come ever closer. We have what seems to be some form of steam cannon setups of sorts from the constructs on the side of this boat. And party, everything goes a bit quiet after the dragon turtle jumps up and over the one vessel, tipping it, like I said, a toy boat in the bathtub. It's only a few hundred feet out now, and it seems to be coming closer. Anything you wish to do before the inevitable happens?
I think I would turn to one of the Warforged and just be like, is there anything we could be preparing to do so that we don't die a horrible, fast death?
The Warforged rotates its head in place and looks at you. You must give it all you've got, sailor.
Dun, 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 dun,
Told you it
dun.
was a thing, Ari. Sailor Man.
Sailor Man. It turns back forward and has nothing else to say for that question.
Is there like... I know we went over the defenses beforehand, but
Yeah.
and the ship is crewed, so I don't know what is open. But is there like ballistas or anything like
No.
anti-ship to ship kind of combat here?
It does look like it's some potential small projectiles from the 10 Warforged that have locked themselves in on the top deck. But you do know that there were a few portholes that had coverings below that you had closed out. There may be more below, but there isn't anything on the top deck that's like a ballista of sorts. There are a bunch of ropes and various other things to board other vessels. There's a few that are hanging from the masts that look like they're used in case you need to swing off or back on. But there's not a ton of heavy weaponry on this boat that you can tell.
Okay. Well, I don't know how to use any of that stuff anyway, so just checking.
Anyone else thinking we should just go below deck so that we, at the very least, don't get toppled into the water? Worst case scenario, we're upside down in the ship as it's upside down in the water.
Worst case scenario, the ship sinks and we're trapped below decks.
Up
But we
here,
can
we
read
can at
water.
least attack.
Yeah. We've got magic, and I think Ari's got some, like, rocks or something she could throw. Because you don't have magic, right?
No. I do have magic missile. I grab my great axe out. Like, I can hit him 3 times. It'll
Technically 9.
Technically.
Technically. Now, as you're all preparing for this, again, it goes silent, and then a splash comes up on top of the deck, and a bunch of water comes down on all of you. I need all of you to make a dexterity saving throw for me, please.
Is it against being charmed?
If the water is coming at you going, hey, what's going on? Maybe, but it's not.
All right, advantage. Got it. No. 18, my good man.
18.
I had an 18 too.
18.
Can
Valari.
everybody else do it?
19.
19.
Close.
Garth?
Well, let's just send it through. Aha! And it did better. 19.
19. All of you save. You do hear a yelp and see Astro get splashed onto his side and start skidding towards the edge on the far side of the deck. Not the side where the turtle is at, but the opposite side. So he goes skidding closer to the edge. He stops himself and stands upright, only a couple feet from the edge of the deck, and comes rushing over, drenched, and holds his ground right next to the lot of you.
Now, when he
Another-
ran over,
Mhm.
there was a light layer of water on the deck, and he was
Yeah.
walking on top of that, not even touching the wood.
Yes, precisely. You didn't hear like the click, click, click of his nails. You just kind of heard splat, splat, splat as he stayed on top.
Which is what we kind of would have heard anyways.
Yeah.
He was running through a puddle.
And also, he's got a metal leg, so it'd be like click, click, donk, click, click, donk.
Yeah, basically. But it was all splash, splash, splash. One more big splash comes at you. I need one more roll, and then something magical will happen. So one more dexterity save,
Yay.
please.
Thadra's getting lucky with this dex. 21.
Wow.
19.
19. I'm gonna need
Lucky.
dice. I'm gonna need dice cams on all of you now.
I got a 9.
9.
Well, you can
Okay.
check my D&D Beyond skills, my good dude.
This is not good. 9.
9. We have two
I
nines.
will save you, my love.
My love.
Called it.
Garth, Valari, and Astro get knocked over and sloshed kind of towards that side again. All of you are able to stop yourselves from going over the edge as the water washes up and over, but you do so by kind of putting your foot on the ledge and catching just before getting washed. And as you're able to stand up and look ahead, now there is a big fin, a flipper, whatever claw type thing from this dragon turtle kind of hooked up on the edge. And you see its giant mouth kind of gaping down at you. Oh man, we lost a portal of
Back?
Andrasex. Are you there?
There we
Yes.
go. Okay.
Hello.
Oh, I thought Valari and I were going to have to do this all ourselves.
The dragon
water
turtle
got
just
us.
inhaled, and Garth and Ari were taken away. Welcome back. So you see this giant maw kind of dripping down over the top of you, and a claw hooked up on top. The first round of cannons fire off at this dragon turtle. A few kind of hit in the mouth and into the neck, and now is where we roll for initiative.
Okay.
I know how to do that. Oh, come on.
Come on, son.
Ugh. Every time with initiative.
All right,
Yeah, I even rolled higher than you this time.
let's do this. Ari,
21.
21. Garth,
16.
16. Cedric,
6.
right? And Valari,
13.
13. Okay. So we are going to go into battle with this dragon turtle that is sloshed up against the side and is biting down at the front row of essentially defense. Now, that front row of defense are these, like I described previously, these warforged that aren't as humanoid as one would expect, but they do have the boiling pots that seem to be now steaming as they fire off a round of heavy metal balls out of the front of their arm. You see steam kind of blast out, and the pot boils very strong, and they grab a metal ball out of their chest and jam it into the fist portion and rear up the arm again, and steam just kind of builds and spurts out of their arm as it seems that they're building the pressure to fire their next round. And we go into battle with Ari at the top of the turn order.
I'm gonna give
you
it a
players.
paper cut, aka fire 3 little missiles at it. But I'm gonna aim for its eye.
Aiming for its eye.
Yeah, I know better than to go for the shell.
Okay. What the shell?
That would be 12 points of damage.
12 points of damage. All right. The magic missiles go up and hit around the eye of this giant turtle and leave tiny little pock marks. And you see a little fizzle of steam as they hit and kind of burn off some of the water on.
I'm gonna yell out, "That's just a warning!"
Garth, it is your turn to follow that warning up with something big and powerful.
Can I really quick do a roll? I want to do like a. Would it be nature, history, arcana to recall information about this creature?
Nature or history would probably be your best. It's up to you to choose which and tell me what you want to roll on.
I will do history.
History. All right.
Well, can't roll a non-natural one as a halfling. Yay!
There you
Well,
go.
the second time you can.
Well, the second time I can. 17.
17. At least in Faerun, you knew that there were only a few of these mythical beasts that would sink ships, and sometimes sink entire armadas. That they would just go missing. The armada, not the beast. There were a few sightings of smaller ones. The smaller ones would attack more trading vessels and smaller ships. You don't know if any of them have been killed per se, but there was one that seemed to have an island growing on it, and that island was inhabited for quite some time before people understood that it was a living beast below. In your reading here in the Black Isles, you have heard that there are a few that swim along the Black Isles, picking off ships between some of the islands. They haven't been sighted in a handful of years since the central island had been sunk, so they'd gone dormant for a bit of time.
Would I know anything about their abilities or resistance?
Yeah, you would know that, of course, the turtle can breathe both air and water, and that these guys are pretty powerful. You know that some of them, being of a dragon variety, have been known to spray either acid or steam, or even one that you had heard potentially had electricity, but you don't know what like signs would tell you what this one would do.
Okay. With that information, let's see. We're in water. I don't think fire's gonna hurt him. See, I think what I'm wrestling with, and I think Garth now has faced a few dragons. We were in a place that was based on dragons. I've read a lot about dragons. So let me pose this to you. Would Garth understand the idea of, because I don't want to put this meta into Garth's knowledge. Would Garth understand legendary resistances for creatures, or or is it just like they seem to like shake off spells?
You would understand that some of these beasts, especially the ancient ones like this that have spent quite a few years beyond your existence, have some form of additional resistance or anti-magic or various things, but I don't know that you'd have quite the word for it, as these beasts are fairly uncommonly fought, and usually very few survive to really write about what was happening. So you know that it's definitely survived for some reason because of potential blessing resistance.
Okay. And the head of this dragon.
Yep.
About how big?
The head is about 25 feet wide. It's one of the biggest dragon turtles that you'd ever heard about.
Okay. Garth. I think Garth. Okay, I'll take more time to think. Garth right now is shaken and is sorry for taking up all the time, but Garth is shaken
it's
and will
fine.
probably just even after all that instinctually just fire a firebolt at it.
Okay.
And then I'll use my in between time to think
Yeah,
more.
yeah.
I don't think he's gonna hit with a 13.
It does not hit, no.
Okay. So Garth is too shaken by
Alright.
having been flung to the side, even with all of his preparing. Garth's just feeling very small right now and uncomfortable. So
Fool.
onward.
All right. Valari, it is your turn. What is it that you do?
I'm going to be casting Chromatic Orb.
You're going to, of course.
I'm just
yeah.
deciding my damage. I'm gonna go with poison.
Okay.
So I imagine the orb would be more green, and instead of sparking, it looks kind of gaseous.
Okay. Yep.
So let me cast this. Let me roll this to hit.
Do you still have some of those magical rerolls or nat 20s?
I have a
left over?
reroll
Okay, cool.
still. So I have a 16 total.
16 total. It does not hit. It just kind of bounces off of the shell of this creature. And so you fire it out.
Okay.
I'm just probing the players here a moment. Who's got a nat 20 still? I know Thadric does. Oh, yeah.
I think
Oh,
we
man.
might have all used them.
No,
I have
there
a
was some
portent.
carryover.
My
Oh.
portent is my nat 20.
Oh, jeez. There was some carryover of nat 20s, I recalled, and I just wanted to know how painful this is going to be. That's all. Don't mind me.
Okay.
All right. So that misses. Astro sees an opportunity. The claw that's kind of hooked up on top of the deck. He runs up and he goes and tries to gnaw into it. With a 5 on the die, he just jumps on and starts biting onto the thing and isn't able to like break into the skin at all. Thadric, it is your turn.
The question is, I'm trying to figure out if we need to buy time to prepare more or we should go at it. But it looks like everyone's just kind of going at it. So, once again, you see the what looks like liquid metal start to pool around Thadric's hand. This time it's a redder metal. It's more of an iron than before. And then the beam of dripping molten metal fires forth from Thadric's hand as he casts as a 4th level spell, Guiding Bolt. And I would normally at this point roll a die to hit. But Senor Denuso gave me a nat 20.
That is so much damage.
So you're just gonna set that to the side and say no, I'll roll the die because the die is the better choice, right?
No, I'm gonna take the guaranteed damage here and use that.
It's a gift. It would be rude not to.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a gift.
Exactly. So let's
We wanna
see here.
honor our fans.
Okay, so I'm adding whatever I roll damage-wise to 42 for a total amount.
Okay.
So my total damage is that's a lot of 2s and 1s. That's lame. It's only 67 damage.
Only 67 damage as you shoot a big ball of metal at this beam kind of turns into a ball as it builds up on like the shell at the neck of this turtle, and it starts to harden a bit as it's hitting the cool water coming off. Any other descriptors as to how this might look as you're just firing this molten metal?
I feel like it would maybe start to eat into the shell a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of divot it and dimple it. And it's definitely thrown off because someone else, the next person to attack it before my turn, will have advantage on it, thanks to the mystical dim lighting glittering on the surface of the target.
Oh, there you go. It is the dragon turtle's turn, and it lets out a roar and sprays steam down at the deck. All of you are within the reach of this steam that it breathes out. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Everyone?
Everyone.
But I'm not good at that, Jared.
Okay, I believe in you.
Is this a
Well, you shouldn't. You just shouldn't.
Ooh, that's one of my good ones. Oh,
Is this a poison thing? Because I have advantage on those.
It's steam, so it's not poison.
Well, I don't know what's in the steam,
It's just scalding water.
usually water.
but it could be scalding poisonous
It's
water.
water on fire. It's water on fire.
Wrong.
Isn't that what Nicolas Cage was trying to keep from getting out there in The Rock?
No, that was what was it? Sarin gas was the opposite of it.
Yeah, it was a gas.
Oh, sarin gas, yeah.
I have a 13.
Yikes!
Right.
That still beats me by 9, so I have a 4.
I have a soft 20.
I have a lucky. Good night. How does that work? Do you take the higher one?
With the lucky?
Yeah.
No, you take the second roll.
Darn. Okay. Cool. So that's an 8.
All right. Well,
Oh wait, you
Valar-
choose which die to use. So that's a 12.
a 12. All right.
Definitely saving with that one.
Well, even so, Valari, you save and you get scorched by 11 points of damage.
Oh gosh.
The rest of you get 22 points of damage.
Now I have a very important question.
Yes.
What type of damage is that?
This is
Hot water.
technically fire damage.
Oh, wait. I think I have resistance to that.
I also have resistance fire.
Defenses? Is that what it's under?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm resistant to fire damage.
Okay.
So no damage, right?
Resistance is half of the damage.
Oh, you mean I can
And we
just-
round up or down?
Up.
So 6.
So I take the 11.
You, Thadric, you said that you. Oh yeah, because instead of taking
Because of the
22, you take
resistance,
11.
yeah.
Yeah, and then 22 for those who didn't save, which is the rest of you. Yeah, so that's the turtle's turn. It releases its claw and sloshes down under the water, and the boat rocks heavily. With this, I need a dexterity save from all of you, please.
Oh man. Why are you trying to kill us in the finale?
Because it's fun. It's a finale. It could be the finale of.
I mean, you're not
Good
wrong.
night, sweetheart. Well,
Time to go.
it's time to go.
Maybe use.
I didn't save this one either.
Yeah.
12.
Hey.
Yes.
17.
17. Ari, you stay upright. The rest of you get knocked over, but as the water sloshes up quite strong on the far side as it's attempting to wash you off, you find footing on it and are able to like kind of kick off and clamber upright. As you do have water walking right now, so you're not swept under and over the side. You get this really interesting like momentary wall that you're able to stand on and prevent yourself from going over. Look,
Nice.
But wouldn't that hurt if you had water walking and you fell off the edge? Would that be landing on like cement?
No, it's walking. So
Oh.
like the top of you falls through, and then
Okay,
you're
so-
like caught by your feet, and
so
then you just kind of flip
You just
around.
got to make sure that you don't land feet first.
Exactly.
I think technically you would splash through, but then the magic like bounces you back up.
It's like a
Oh, it's a trampoline.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. All right. So
Like wearing tiny life vests on your feet.
Pretty much.
Yes. The turtle has gone under the water and the boat is sloshing around. Ari, it is your turn to do whatever you need to as your target is gone.
Yeah, I would shake off, try to get courage, look over and yell, "Coward! Come back and find me like a turtle!" And I'm just gonna clutch my great axe and I'm gonna prep my only range attack. I'll have another magic missile ready when the turtle is in my range.
All right. If I hadn't described it well enough, the turtle had clawed on. The boat is big enough that in order to be in like snapping range, it does put a claw or two up onto the deck if you wish to engage that way as well. But that does mean getting right up on its face. All right. Garth, is there anything you wish to prepare, do, or see while you're giving 6 seconds of life to do what you wish with?
Yeah. No, it's not a beast. Okay. I think Garth is going to grab.
Garth is metagaming right now.
No. Well, Garth is trying to go through the creatures that he would know for himself.
Okay.
But
yeah.
Nathan has not taken enough time to look at a variety of creatures. Nathan has looked at 2.
There you go.
So
more creatures.
I think Garth was gonna like pull out his rope, and I think he's got water walk, but he's still just not liking this at all. Yeah, I don't know. Garth is so confused.
Take a healing potion.
Oh yeah, I'll do that because that hurt way too much. I have 1 healing potion. Thank you.
There you go. Yeah.
But I'm like, Garth kind of like scrambles for his bag, pulls out the healing potion, and it's like one of those like, and it's like some of it's missing, but the majority of it gets into his mouth to where he gets the fullness of those.
All right.
So I drink the potion, and then
Can I
Well.
see where the turtle?
The turtle dropped off of the edge and sunk under. From what you can understand of the beast, its back toes might have been kind of touching the water, but the ship that you're on is quite tall. So you assume that it's either coming back up on your side or sloshing after another ship, or whatever it may be. But you don't have eyes on it unless you wish to run to the edge. All
I'll
right.
run to the edge.
You run to the edge that he was just at, correct?
Yeah.
As you do, you notice that there's a bit of bubbles and splash that seems to go towards the front of the boat. But you don't quite have a solid direction as to where that went.
That's okay. I might do this. Give me 1 second.
You're the only one who's really gotten eyes on direction of the turtle. If you wish to convey that, you may. If not, you may do whatever else you wish.
The farthest bubble, how far, like where the bubbles like start, how far out is that from where I am? Like what would be the distance?
The distance, like down into the water, is probably about 40 feet down straight, and then out a little bit. Like if you're looking to where it's starting to swim away towards the front, it's within about 100 feet still.
Okay.
You do see a motion under the water if you're trying to do something with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to use a sorcery point
Okay.
to double the distance of a spell.
Yep.
And I'm going to cast Ray of Sickness.
Okay.
So it now has the range of 120 feet. But I want to aim it like, down and forward, like where the motion is
Okay.
and where I think it might be.
Because it is technically under some form of cover, you're going to have to roll at disadvantage for the hit.
I figured.
Okay.
So let me start with.
Was this the first attack on it since the last round?
Yes.
Then she has advantage from me.
So it cancels out and it's a normal roll.
It's a normal roll. Yep.
Okay. Well, that's not gonna hit. Think I'm gonna use my reroll.
You re-roll. All right. Re-roll her up.
Okay. That one hits. Okay. That is an 18 on the die, making it a 25.
That does hit.
So it is going to take 3d8 of poison damage. And it looks like this, like the visual of it is just this like really gross, like I don't know how to describe it, but like a really gross, just like green energy, just so it looks just like really disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um
Did you read the full thing in the book? Because
mm-mm,
it's a green energy.
I don't have the
Nice.
book on me. Okay, so it looks like I have 11 points of damage.
Let's see here. I did this one wrong. Ray of Sickness here isn't to hit. It is a save on my side.
Mine has a hit.
Yours is to hit.
I have a hit. Let me pull it up.
Yeah, I thought because it was a ray, it was
It says
blasty. Technical term.
make a ranged spell attack against a target on a hit. Okay.
Oh, on there we
And
go.
they
To
must
hit.
make a Constitution saving throw.
That's what I was reading. Ooh, that was a terrible Constitution saving throw. It does not save.
So you're poisoned until the end of the next turn.
Nice.
Which means
It says
disadvantage.
on a failed save, it is also poisoned until the end of its next turn.
All right, so it failed. So you get to give it the damage
Of 11.
of 11. Yep. Okay. As that ray hits, you think you see a few chunks of wood and things kind of spew out next to the turtle and come up as he might have had a little bit of a
And
verp.
there's a lot of like dead fish that float to the top.
Oh yeah, yes, spot on there. This turtle was hit with Ray of Sickness and verping a little bit. Astro is just keeping his paws on the ground. To you, Thadric.
So I need a ruling from you
Yes,
on what has happened here.
yes.
So last round, I fired essentially liquid metal
Mhm.
that hit a water creature,
Yep.
did damage.
Yep.
I would assume that the ocean water would quench the metal and solidify it.
Correct.
Okay, so now I'm going to be a devious little poop head and cast heat metal
Perfect.
on
What?
the metal.
What kind of metal was it? Because the water could also oxidize it.
It's iron. I mean,
Rusted.
it's still going to be metal.
It'll take a little while for it to rust out,
Rust.
but yeah, it'll still be metal. Go ahead and heat metal on that if you
Heat
wish.
metal.
As you run to the side and you see that Polari does get a nice hit of that Ray of Sickness.
Let's see. If the creature is holding or wearing an object, it's his shell, so
Yeah.
he must succeed on a Constitution saving throw, or
Beautiful.
drop the object if he can. He doesn't drop it.
He
'Cause
does
he
not.
can't,
He
obviously.
cannot. No.
So let's see here. He's gonna take 3d8 each round for a minute.
So for the next 10 rounds, he'll take 3d8.
I have to roll 3d8, huh?
And it'll be on your turn that we will resolve that. So make sure to have a note for yourself to roll those 3d8s on your turn.
Yeah. I got 10 on the first one.
10. All right.
And then for my move,
Yep.
I'd like to come up. Has the ship stopped moving forward?
The ship is still moving, but not as quickly as it was. The sails have been collapsed a bit.
All right, well then scratch that. I'm good. I was gonna go over the edge and fight it with a weapon, but not if I have to keep up with a boat. So I'm good.
All right.
And end combat.
And combat. All right. The turtle does continue moving forward. You see a bit of boiling water kind of bubble up as your heat metal hits and does damage. It tries to go after a ship up ahead, and because it's got heat metal, it just comes out of the water and tries to bite down. It's got ray of sickness and heat metal, so it is at like super disadvantage. It tries to bite down at another ship and completely misses. And
How far away is it at this point?
It's about 55 feet out to another ship kind of near you.
Cool.
And
So
it
Magic
starts to
Missile
turn
has,
around.
20.
100. Sorry. A what?
120.
120 range. So if I'm seeing it come out of the water, I'm gonna fire off those missiles that I had prepped.
Yeah, so as it comes out of the water to attack, you're able to fire off those missiles. Please
10.
roll the damage. 10. Perfect. You see those hit and let off again another little bit of steam off of the turtle as it attacks another vessel, completely missing. And it goes underwater a bit and starts to turn around. You see the bubbles kind of coming back towards your vessel. We're back to the top of the turn order, so you get another little bit of time to prepare or attempt attacks or whatnot. Ari, it is your turn. And you last saw that the bubbles were coming your direction.
I'm gonna prep my final charge of magic missile.
Okay.
When it comes,
So
when
you
it
prep
surfaces,
it for
I will fire.
perfect. Garth.
I don't like any of this. So, what Garth is going to do is he hates being a sitting duck just waiting to be attacked. So, he is going to turn into a creature that he recently encountered I think probably for the first time in his adventures.
A snail.
He runs to the end of the boat and says, "I'll try to keep it distracted." And you see him just run towards the edge of the boat and take a just giant leap and spread his arms out, and he just goes over the edge. And then as the magic takes hold, up from underneath, a giant eagle soars out over the water towards where the turtle is. And if it's not attackable, then for the time being, I want to track it and kind of like show people its route. Because I want to use the eagle's like keen eyes to see underneath the water as eagles often do when fishing. And since I'm a bigger eagle and it's a bigger turtle, I figured that would help. So I'm kind of watching it to like point out this is where it is. And if it is going to surface, then I'll prepare like a dive in to do my attacks.
All right. Sounds good. Valari, you just watched Garth dive off of the side, and an eagle flies up, wearing similar coloring in its feathers to what
Yeah,
Garth
the
is
coloring, like those the white feathers you might see on the edge of an eagle's wings are like a light blue, and they kind of like there's just this sparkle of magic coming off of them as the wings flap.
Mm-hmm. But okay, so the turtle is still under.
Mhm. Yep.
but I know I hit it, and we saw him heat it
Yep.
because I've been at the edge. So do I still have a good idea of where it is?
Yeah, it had come towards the boat. You don't have solid eyes on it, but it was turned back towards the boat. You see bubbles kind of at the front of the ship as you're looking out and down. You don't know if it's coming up under or off to one of the sides, so you don't have the ability to just like pot shot it, but you can roll at disadvantage if you want to hit where you think it's at, or you can prepare.
I got lucky before, so I'm gonna do it again.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll cast Ray of Sickness.
All right. Disadvantage firing where you believe the turtle to be.
Well, my disadvantage is a soft 20.
Dang, that hits. I see it.
I know, and so does Thadric.
And so do I.
Okay, so we're casting that, and we're doing 3d8s. So, okay, also you have to save.
Nope.
Nope. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, you're taking 19 points of poison damage.
As you hit, you see what seems to be like the front decorative piece of one of the boats come floating up, and it's a mermaid of sorts.
Oh.
That you made him puke up. It was his lunch.
Well, now some treasure hunter will be able to find it in the ocean later.
Mhm. Yep. So you hit this turtle under the water again. Super lucky. Astro is just running around barking, unsure of where to go. Thadric, it is back to you. So please roll your damage as the
Bonus
metal is
action,
still
3d8
Boom,
heat
baby.
damage. That's pretty solid. 14.
14.
And I will cast Guiding Bolt as a first level at it.
All right. This is disadvantage as it's still underwater.
That's fine. Disadvantage. First rolls a so probably not going to hit with that, but let's check anyway. And that was the high one. Cool. 10 probably don't do it.
No, 10 doesn't do it.
Nice.
Now,
I'm sad.
as you cast Guiding Bolt and it just kind of hits the water and dissipates, the dragon turtle seems to be coming back up towards the boat. And as it does, you feel the ship kind of rock twice from seeming hits from this thing.
Rock the boat?
Don't rock the boat.
baby.
Baby.
Grab some mane, yo!
And as it hits twice, the dragon turtle surfaces up a little bit closer to the front.
Magic missile!
You're all
Magic
out.
missile.
No, I said I prepped my last one.
Yep, she prepped it. So fire your magic missile, but as it surfaces, the dragon turtle has a chunk of what seems to be your boat, your ship, in its mouth. Some of the steam pipe that you'd seen along the edges is still dripping some hot steaming water, and as it hits the deck, it kind of fizzles up, and it's there, and it spits the piece of the ship out as the magic missile hits it in the face for how many damage?
12.
12 points of magic missile damage right in the face.
Like right in the middle of the forehead. I'm gonna try a like David and Goliath thing here.
Yeah. Well, they hit. They don't do a ton, but yes, they hit. Nathan.
Do I have the opportunity to attack now since I had been tracking with the readied action?
Yes, you had a readied action, so as it comes up, and you see the magic missiles flying at its face, you're able to come from behind as you're able to swoop down on it.
Now, because the giant eagle has a multi-attack. Do multi-attacks only take place if all you do that action is attack? Or
Multi-attacks will basically be if you have attack for what you're going to do, you can use up to that many. So Giant
Okay.
Eagle has 2. Certain dragons have, I think, 5. So Beholders have 8, I want to say. So you can do as much as those multi-attacks as you want.
so I am going to
Just
make
to
2
let
attacks.
you know, yep. One is your beak and one is your talons.
Yes. Yeah, I've got the stats pulled up.
Yep.
So
Perfect.
I'm gonna kind of like be diving in as an eagle, but then do that amazing thing where they kind of pull their wings back and go forth with the talons, starting in with them. And I will use my nat 20 on that moment. So that's 2d6 plus 3, so that's a base of 15 damage.
Okay.
Plus another 2d6.
Penguin Witch Doctor, are you rolling the steam breath damage there? That was a good roll.
15d6. Dang.
No.
So I got it up to 17 damage.
Okay.
I'm really glad we do our rules the way we do on crits. Otherwise, those 2 1s would have been really sad. And now I will roll an attack on with the beak, kind of lunging forward. Well, now how does that work?
Like this.
Well, now here's my thing is I'm a halfling, so I can't roll a nat 1. But if I polymorph into a giant eagle, do I maintain that?
For all
But didn't you already use it? Look.
And don't you take on all the?
for all intents and purposes,
No,
you
a
take on the stat block. You take on the stat block, and you essentially take on the being. You yourself know who you are, and I believe you do get to use those feats because it is still part of you. Not
Right,
like
I would still have bravery. Like I still wouldn't be, because that's another trait. Like would I still have advantage on saving throws against being frightened because of who I am in my soul?
Yes, I would believe that to be because the biggest things are you take the stat block on. So like if you're super intelligent and you morph into something that is like -6 to intelligence, you take on that intelligence.
Okay.
Yes,
Well, then
-6. That would
So
be.
I'll re-roll this one, and if it's still a 1, then that's what it was meant to be. But it's a 17 on the dice, and I get to add 5, so that's a 22.
There you go. That does hit.
All right, and we're going to use a different
You
d6.
did it. I'm so proud of you.
So that's another 7 damage from the beak. So just a screeching
All
as the claws gorge into the back of the head, and then the beak comes down, and then kick off and fly and again.
Cool.
And your flight speed is 80, so that was a nice dive in, and you're back out of reach.
Yep.
Perfect. So now that the dragon turtle has been hit in the front and the backside and spit out part of the ship, it does use its final multi-attack to bite down at the group that is within it or within its range. The target, who is at the front, who is closer to the front of the ship? Is it Thadric or Valari? I know you guys have moved a bit. Ari is back a little
I would
bit.
say probably me because I've been debating pulling out an actual weapon.
Okay, so you've been moving up to the front. So
I would need to be in that
Yeah,
area.
no, I've just been at that one edge.
Okay, you've been at the edge. So it does get. Let's see. Why don't I have that number there? It does get a bite down for 21. I believe that's just a little bit outside of your AC because you're what?
My
20?
AC is 21.
Oh wow! Dang.
Tie
Well,
goes
it
to the
ties.
attacker.
Okay, man. Your AC is 21.
Well, it went up because of my forge cleric thing went up,
Man.
and then I have a magic thing that makes it go up 1.
I'm
Should
just
put
gonna
spikes
sink the boat now. You guys are too powerful.
No, don't do it.
No, don't do
Oh,
it. So
fine.
it does bite
Hold on, do
down.
it. We can walk on water.
Yeah.
Hold on, do it. So it does bite down for 15 points of damage.
Is it fire damage, perchance?
No, it's not fire damage this
Because
time.
it's a bite, right?
Yeah, it is a bite, so it is piercing
Gentle
damage.
Oh man, I'm kind of woozy.
I'm kind of woozy. Let's see here.
I have nothing to help you. I can just
And
make you
It
sick.
does not continue its grasp onto you, so you break free of its mouth as it comes down and bites at you. You don't get engulfed. It goes back to the top of the turn order. Ari, this dragon turtle is near the front of the ship here. A round of metal cannonballs go flying over your head, and some hit the turtle, and some ricochet off of the shell and go up into the air.
How far away is it?
You are about 40 feet away if you've been kind of towards the back. So you can hustle up if you wish, because I think you've got enough to get right to the edge where its claw is.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the dash action.
Okay.
And I'm going to run up, great axe in hand, and come up yelling with a big old swing. And this feels like a good time to use that last nat 20 that I have.
yeah.
All right.
So with that, okay. That will be 28 plus my 5 bonus from taking the dash. 33 points of damage.
All right. And because you've done that, isn't there anything for knocking prone or any of the
I
like
can
for
choose
your
to
charge?
either add 5 to damage or knock prone.
That's what it is. Yes.
But,
All right.
or push away 10 feet, sorry. But I'm going to go for the extra
Perfect.
damage.
All right. As you've done that, and you slice right into the claw. Yep.
Nope, never mind.
As you slice right into the claw of this thing, you break into the bone a bit underneath, and blood spurts up and out. And you notice that this thing is hurting pretty bad at this point. So you've got a nice hit here. Anything else to finish out your turn, or is that all you've got? You charge in and just wail on it.
Yeah, I'll do that and turn it down. You okay, buddy?
Will
He just got hurt. I can't let one person be in the heat of battle without lending my aid.
All right. So you've done that. We go down to Garth, up in the air, Mr. Eagleman.
Yeah, the eagle is going to swoop back around and aim towards he's going looping towards the back of the ship to fly towards the front where he can attack head on.
Okay.
The idea being he wants to kind of go, as he saw Ari shoot at the eyes before, he wants to go for the eyes and try and like take one of them and get up close. So multi-attack.
So you're looping towards the back of the ship and coming around. So it's got to be a very tight turn in order to stay within your 80 feet out and around. So we'll allow that, and so you will be essentially attacking near the end of your movement.
Okay, cool. I don't think either of those is going to hit. The beak was a 7, and the talons were a 13.
Because you had made that nice quick arc to get around, you were a little unsteady and didn't get your wings in the right order to get the speed. So you just kind of ricochet off of the head of the turtle with your attacks, and you kind of come up above it. So you're going to end like coming up off of the turtle a little bit. It is Valari's turn. Valari, I think at this point, fear has kind of run through you enough with this big thing hitting you that we're going to start with you resolving some wild magic.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you were already rolling?
Yeah.
Aww, you know me.
Well, I should hope so.
Well, I cast 2 big spells.
Yeah.
So
All right. What are we killing you all with today?
56.
We're killing you with a 56.
All the water within a mile radius disappears.
You find out that the depth of the water that you're in right now is 3/4 of a mile deep. You fall.
Oh, shoot.
No. Let's see here.
It looks like Moses parting the sea, and it's just like
Tell me what that number is.
85.
85. Hopefully that's better. Perfect. Oh, even better. Valari, next to you, a cloud of sparkly dust explodes. And as that dust dissipates, your unicorn friend is standing right there.
Grab some mane, bro!
You just hear the
He's
eagle.
standing-
Because he can't
He's
see
standing
that's the
there.
mango.
And looks over at you with one scar across its face as it's been in battle with you a few times. It stomps one hoof, and as it stomps, glitter kind of goes up into the air around it stomping. This unicorn is controlled by the DM for up to a minute. So on your turn, this unicorn will do its thing. We'll let you go with your turn, and then I will get a unicorn in this battle here.
I'm so excited.
All right.
Wow.
Garth, grab some mane!
Grab some mango.
Well, all right. What is your actual turn?
Well, first my vocal component, I'm going to acknowledge the unicorn and say, it's good to see you again, old friend. And then I'm casting Chromatic Orb with Poison at the turtle. Do I have to run forward at all, or
Chromatic Orb is what, 60 feet?
90?
90? No, you don't have to. You're fine.
Okay, so I'm just gonna cast it as Poison. So, oh, that's not what I wanted. The hit is an 18.
Okay. That is a miss.
No. Well, that's all I can do.
18 missed?
Garth, you had looked at the stat block, I thought.
No, I wasn't looking at that. I was looking at all the creatures that I could turn into.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
The
'cause
Casey's at 20. So
Weakening
I was
it's
not
not
cheating.
gonna. Well, okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that alone.
okay.
And then I'm going to not do anything else. And now it's Uni and then Astro.
Yeah. So the unicorn rushes forward and uses its horn to spear at the leg of the turtle. And it does hit. And it pierces in to the leg. And as it does, it pulls the horn back out and looks at Thadric and looks at Ari and then lets out a neigh. And Ari, you get +2 AC until the unicorn's next turn. So you're a little bit more safe at the front lines. You feel a glittery tingle go across your body, and your skin sparkles as if someone just threw confetti at you. And with that, the unicorn backs up a couple steps and just stares up at the turtle, and you see its mane kind of crackle with a little bit of lightning as it's upset. Astro rushes up and misses the bite and is kind of standing next to the unicorn, snapping at the turtle. It is Thadric's turn next.
Bonus action, 3d8
3d8.
fire damage from my molten heat metal. Oh crap, there's a 1 in there. 11.
11 points
Could've
of
been
bonus
better.
damage is not bad.
Regular action, I hold I grasp my amulet, focus on it, my hand glows in a golden hue, and the wounds upon me begin to clear up a little bit
All right.
as I cast Cure Wounds upon myself for 22 points back.
Whoa, there you go.
And then I'm out of things to do.
You're healing at the front line there. The dragon turtle bites down at the three of you. At the unicorn, it misses. At Thadric, it misses. But at Ari, it looks like we have a 22 here. So it does hit.
Yes, it does.
Because you're at 21, right?
Mm-mm.
Or no, you're
I
at
don't have
20.
my shield. I'm at 18.
You're at 18, but you got the +2 bonus for this round here. you
That's
got
that
20.
is my +2 bonus. I have 16 without my shield.
Okay,
Seems
cool.
like you need some Hydra armor.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Just saying.
So it does hit with the bite and does 11 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And it doesn't keep you in its maw.
That's good.
Yeah, that is very good. But it is your turn to strike back.
Okay, yes. Great axe in hand. That is going to be a crit.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I rolled this. At a 19. So that's going to be
Yep.
20, 26
You have to say something clever and witty when you kill it.
26 points of damage.
26 points of damage.
And then I'm going to take my second swing.
Okay.
20.
20 to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hits.
Great. Okay. And then that will be 13 points of damage.
All right.
And then I'm going to action surge and give one more go of just
Nice.
get off my boat! Ship! And that is also a 20.
That hits.
Great.
As
will
Ari shouts out ship, but not other words.
14 points of damage.
Ari's doing a pretty good Harrison Ford impression. Get
Get
off.
off my boat.
Ari, as you do that, you hack at the same spot multiple times, and you end up loosing the clawed fin that was hooked up onto the deck from the turtle. And the turtle releases, and its eyes kind of roll back, and it goes falling onto its back and splashing into the ocean. There's a claw still kind of hanging up on the boat or on the ship, and this turtle has been killed. But as you notice that happens, you also are noticing that the deck is starting to tip a bit more. And you do see a bunch of the crew scurrying about and trying to figure out what's going on and how to bail. Garth.
I think as the eagle, seeing the creature fall back, its claw is still kind of on the boat.
Yep.
I think I would fly down and grip the claw in my talons and try and like lift it off the boat to right the ship a little bit more that way.
Okay. As you do, can you give me a strength check to see if the eagle will be able to do this?
I would also like at the, because I don't think it speaks. It understands common but cannot speak it. So like I would look at Ari and Thadric, just like trying to encourage them to lend a hand.
All right, so you can get the help action on there.
I'm sorry?
You can get the help action on there, so add 5.
Okay, add 5. Okay.
Yep.
Well, that's good, because... So that makes it 10.
10. You guys are able to budge this thing, and it eventually kind of slides off of the edge. And as it does, it splashes into the water, but it doesn't seem to help right the ship, as the ship still continues to tilt a bit from the gigantic hole that was placed in the front.
Thad! Get Linus!
But grab some mane, yo!
With that, the unicorn does stomp a hoof and look around. He's still around for a few moments. We have a minute with him, so he's only got about 20 or so seconds. Who is beaten up pretty badly in this? Who's hurt? Ari. Thadric, are you all right? Or...
I'm fine now. I healed
All right.
myself.
So the unicorn looks down at Astro, who is hurting pretty badly, and at Ari. Ari, you're able to take 7 hit points back as it lightly touches its horn to your shoulder, and you feel health come back.
I'll take it.
There's still other boats around, right?
Yes, there's about 6 other vessels. and you see them all clamoring to get the boats or the smaller like lifeboats and dinghies off the sides quickly and start
So like they're
paddling over.
prepping for us to be in the drink.
Yeah, they're prepping. Some of the crew on this vessel is quickly getting the boats unhooked from the sides so you can bail out on it as well, or the rest of the crew can help bail out. But the amount of small vessels that are attached to the large one seemingly doesn't match the sheer number of souls on this vessel. So it's going to be a bit of work.
What's the rate that it looks the ship is sinking?
It looks that within probably about 2 to 3 minutes, the ship could capsize and just go under. So
okay, Thad is gonna run back down to his cabin, hastily pack up Linus, and grab one of the chests that he put some of the like fasteners and stuff in.
All right.
The like stow chest.
Yeah, the stow chest is small. You can throw it right under your arm.
Yeah,
it's only meant to carry a few small things in it.
Huck it back up to.
Yeah. So as the boat is sinking, you're actually kind of running uphill a little bit to get to the room. Is there anything else the rest of you are doing as the boat is making its way up?
I think Garth would take his beak and kind of like bump it against Ari's armor. Because sorry if I'm misunderstanding, Jared. Was all the hide armor, like all that was in that thing you just grabbed?
No, just some of the stuff that I smithed the other day.
Yeah, so
like the connections.
So like if our stuff is still in our quarters, I would run with him to get our things that we brought.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine we're on a boat, so we're not carrying our packs around. So like I'd swoop up Garth's pack, throw it over his shoulder, and because he got a little pack anyway. He's a little guy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Anything else the rest of you are doing, Valari? In the moments the few seconds you get with your unicorn friend, is there anything you wish to do there?
I think I would just go up and like pat it on its snout and like thank you, because usually it's so brief and we don't see each other very often, but there's history there. So
as you do, you hear in the back of your head a few words that you can't quite understand. They're very apparent to you. You believe they're in Elvish that like stick out. So something you might remember.
Can I cast Comprehend Languages?
Sure, you may. As you do that, the words become bright in your mind, and the unicorn says to you, "I'm always here for battle and companionship. Just focus on me."
Not yet. Soon.
And as he says, "Just focus on me," he blinks and then disappears into the same cloud of glittery dust that he appeared in.
Do I happen to have any unicorn hairs?
You do find a few stuck to your glove after you had pat him, but you don't have like a fistful of mane or anything.
I didn't want a fistful, just a little bit. Just because like in my mind I'm like, oh, that'll like help. So I like make sure that's in like a very secure, safe spot, and then I probably work on getting Astra and myself onto one of the boats.
Yeah, one of the boats on the side has a few spaces that you all may hop onto if you wish.
I will walk. Because if there's not enough seats, right? Like, are we seeing that there are people being left?
You're seeing that there are some people kind of jumping down into the water and trying to swim to the boats. You see a few people are not able to get in, and they're just kind of grabbing onto some wood and keeping afloat. So yeah, you're able to walk on the water as this thing is capsizing. But mind you, as it approaches the moment where it sinks under, there's going to be a big splash. So be careful.
I think to double back really quick, as the unicorn and like Valari are having a moment,
Mhm.
like in
Yep.
eagle form, Garth just kind of like bows to the unicorn respectfully, and then Garth is going to, knowing that his friends have this, are probably going to be able to get off the boat quick enough. He's going to do a quick loop over to where some of the other boats were to see if there are any survivors hanging onto driftwood or anything that he can kind of grab up and take to the ships.
Yeah, you are able to find a couple survivors. That number is exactly 3. So there's 3 survivors that are floating and hanging on. They kind of wave at you, puzzled, knowing that they saw you kind of like do the attack.
Question:
Answer: daily double. Pew 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 pew.
does the ship weigh more than 4 tons?
I would say with cargo and all, yes.
Follow-up question: to buy time,
Okay.
could I pin the ship in place with the immovable rod, knowing that it will still gradually slip, but with only the intent of buying time?
Yeah. What is your sailing history? You've been on many boats before.
I've mostly been a passenger.
Okay. So in your time as a passenger, you would recall that there's a few key points within the boat as far as structural integrity goes. Please just roll me a straight history check on if you would remember where those could be.
Thank God I'm at least proficient in it. Oh, you son of a... It was all like 16, psych, 8.
8.
8.
As you recall, there's a few beams within the ship, usually down a couple floors that are part of, yes, beans in the ship, beams in the ship with an M, that are used for like keeping the main structure. And as you recall that, you believe there's probably a couple cross beams between them, cross beams as in what you eat. So you believe there's a cross beam that you could put it against, that if you run down a couple floors, you might be able to buy a little bit of time.
Yeah, I do that because I'm just looking to buy time to make sure everyone gets off.
Yeah, as you make it down and you choose a beam, you seemingly have chosen what you hope to be correct, because as you place the immovable rod, it hits and pushes, and you hear some creaking throughout the vessel, and you feel the motion slow a bit, but the rod gets pushed slowly as it's quite heavy still.
And probably this is going to be the end of the rod, because I imagine it would, when the ship finally goes down, then it's stuck in the ship, right? Like,
Unless
Unless the
you
beam breaks.
choose
You
to.
do have underwater breathing for the next.
yes, but I
24
also have water walking, so I can't really go underwater.
Have mage hand.
I need the DC 30 strength check to do anything with it.
Oh wow.
Like,
We used mage hand
oh,
before
to undo
to
it.
undo it and grab it. So as long as like
I mean, if it's gone, that's fine. I'm just saying, just alerting you to I'm prepared to lose it to save folk if we need to. I don't want to lose it.
What you do notice, however, is you only get a few moments, maybe 5 or 10 seconds, that the rod pushes back, and then the button clicks out, and it drops. So like the weight against this thing, you're able to slow it down in bursts, but the rod won't stay for very long as it can't keep its hold in that place with how much weight.
Okay, well then what I'm gonna do, knowing that I have the water breathing, and I can dismiss the water walk whenever.
Mhm.
I will continually glump it as long as possible.
Yeah,
That's a
so-
technical term, glumping.
Glump.
Yeah.
And then I'll swim out at the end, right?
Cool. So with that, Thadric, we will say that you're able to give the boat a couple extra minutes, meaning that instead of about half of the crew and passengers making it off, you're able to get 90% of the crew. So there's only a few that are still trapped within some of the rooms below, and you're able to hear some of them and some of the motion. If you wish to go any further with trying to gain a couple extra lives, we can work through that. But the rest of you are getting into a boat, or in Ari's case, wandering around trying to make sure people are safe by running across the water. Anything else you are doing here?
If I see, do I see any faces in the window?
In any of the windows, you don't see any faces as it's sinking. Most of the time, the people are trying to get up and out. If you see any in the windows, they've broken through the window and are like diving out into the water. There's
Okay.
nothing that's really keeping people trapped in there.
Okay.
I feel like there's a cutscene to Thadric, like as it's going under and he's still doing this, and you just hear, "I will go down with the ship." Sorry. Anyways.
Yeah, I'm just, if anybody can be helped, I don't like the idea of anybody going down with the boat. We've already lost 2, so.
You do hear some people within, so you're able to, if you want, do similar to what Thadric is doing. You do have water breathing on. You do have water walking available.
I mean, I was thinking just take my axe and like chop open the wall if they need a like.
Quick, Trepio, turn into a raft.
We will say here, I'm going to roll a few die for some of these actions.
I just rolled a critical. Just if you want
You
to.
just rolled a critical? Yep. Yep. You're able to find 3 people that you can break out. With that critical, you're able to break through a bit of wood that's pinning one man down. You do also find the Genasi that you had met earlier, and you're able to help lift his leg out of a beam that's kind of pinned him. And then finally, you're able to help a deckhand who is trying to lift some wood that is covering a door. And as that door opens, there's a handful of livestock that come out, and they're swimming around. And he's starting to kind of put them up on chunks of the wood. So it's smaller livestock. There's a few sheep. It looks like there's a small alpaca in the mix. As this was a cargo ship as well.
They're gonna love seeing a
so you've
giant
got
eagle flying around.
Yeah, so you've got a few creatures that you've also helped save. With that, you guys have cleared most of the vessel for the most part. Thadric is underwater still, like keeping the boat from going completely under, and it is now tipped almost upright. We have on the surface of the water Astro running around, and he's grabbed a collar of a young boy's shirt and is like keeping him afloat as Astro is standing on the water and walking him slowly over to one of the vessels. So there's a lot of work going on, and as this is all going on, and Garth is flying around in eagle form saving people, Valaria, I'm assuming, is reaching out and running after those who need help as well. After a couple hours, you're able to get a head count, and the papers that come through as far as what was saved from the ship, as far for people, it seems that you've gotten all but about 10 or 12 that probably perished in the battle from this ship at least. Valari, did you have something to add, or are you good? I heard you go.
No, I just had. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
Just let it go.
All right. So now that you've gotten most of this crew onto the other vessels and a few of the rafts that are now being attached to the remaining ships, what happens is on the vessel that you have been put onto, the Genasi walks up and looks around and looks at the group with a bit of despair, and he puts his head down. So you see, this power is deadly, and we hope that there's nothing more that will come our way like this. But we're getting close. And he points out on the horizon to the north and south of you. You see tips of island. As you're now making your way between the northern island from where you're at, and the island you were just on. Dave was only a couple hours journey from here. I thank you for all of your bravery for working on the ship and saving lives. And the Aarakocra comes over.
Yeah, it was really good to see that in action.
And he shakes his feathers of some of the water.
Now, do you know where we're going? Have you heard any stories of this city?
Is it not the city that fell?
The Warforged City?
As you say, the Warforged city, one of the Warforged that was on the vessel walks over. Yes, this is the Warforged city that you have heard about. We have improved upon the techniques of those who had lived there prior. We have invited all clans, races, and peoples. So, this city has power like none other. We use steam to power many things. You saw some of the crew with their steam cannons. That is just the start. But the city is far different than you would expect, being from the other island.
We're actually not from this. Okay.
Am I still underwater?
No, you've been pulled out. The boat had fully capsized and you're able to swim out at a certain point. And you've been pulled up onto the same vessel for all intents and purposes of movie cutscenes.
Okay.
So you've been told this city is based on steam.
In the tales that my grandpa knew
Yep.
about the war, is this vaguely familiar?
Yeah, you'd heard that there was a lot of science and experimentation happening on one of the remaining towns as it grew and became a larger city. You'd heard that there had been some form of growth, and that the forge there had allowed for quote unquote magical things, but without the use of magic.
So, other question actually, and this may factor in,
Yeah.
based on where Fringeport was
Mhm.
and where this island is.
Yep.
Would we have been making some of those fittings and stuff, like
Yeah.
unknowingly?
You would have been making
Or-
some of the fittings because Fringeport was on the western side of Galan, the island that you were all just on, and it was known for its craftsmanship. I think part of what had happened is your grandfather and his peers had formed an alliance with the Warforged and have been able to help give them fittings and piping and various other things to help build the city. So you're at this point, you've got little sparks of like giddiness, like, oh, I can't wait to see what my grandfather worked on.
Great. I will not hold the information, but I will save it for when we can be a group and not
Yeah,
the survivors
yeah.
kind of thing.
I think Garth, who, just to paint the picture, like when he landed on the deck, it was super cool. He like came in as an eagle, and then like at that last moment, kind of like flapped the wings up, and then just
It's on
landed.
his face.
No, on his feet.
I don't know. I didn't see a dex check.
And then I was literally head up, feet down. That's usually how landing works. Or gravity.
But there's ocean and wave. I don't know.
Give me a dex check to see if you land on your feet.
Yes.
Because he's not a normal bird, right? It's not like he does this all the time.
Right?
Done it before. It's a 15.
15. You come in and you kind of slide a little bit on some of the water and catch a dry spot and trip up, and you like, got this. I landed.
Yeah,
Two
but
feathers way up.
And I wanna nudge Ari and be like, dude, it's so cool.
If you think he's so cool, why don't you marry him?
Oh, didn't expect that.
Whoa.
um,
Because
so
he likes you.
Garth is then going to now we fast forward. Now we fast forward to back all the important stuff.
Yeah.
Garth is going to say, "This city you are bringing us to, I understand there are many peoples, and there seem to be many of you who need help from the gem. What are our intentions once we arrive?"
Well, you see, the forge here is strong enough to split the gemstone. And if we can split the power, it should lessen those searching for it. In my realm, there's plenty of us Genasi that need the strength again. Our mana pools are more or less just a saltwater pool now. Are you returned? Oh, there you are. You blinked out of existence momentarily.
Oops,
Well,
we
welcome
heard it
back.
all. Good job.
In your magicalness there, these pools do need a source of energy, so we can remove part of the stone and separate the power. The forge needs some energy. My Kokra friend here, their island is slowly decaying, and they need a source of life there to fuel the waterfalls that cascade down the edges. And I'm sure there's much to be had on the island of Galan and potentially others that we could form a greater alliance with.
Hmm.
So, to be a bit more curt in this, Garth and Aurelia, as well as Valari, Thadric, and Doggo, we seek your help to maintain power spread through the world.
Right, that's about it. Yeah.
Insight check.
Insight check, go for it.
Yeah, I just met all these people.
Yeah.
Soft 20.
Funny. You feel that his story is very spot on. The way he approaches the situation is almost like on the verge of a breakdown. Like this is his last hope for his people.
Okay. All right.
Meanwhile, Astro is digging in a
We have a
pile of rags somewhere.
grumpy.
Yes, I think Garth would just say, "All right, we will do what it takes to help you. As you can see, we are committed to this. Our goal is to only ever do good and help others."
Well, then we will have an agreement. I'm sure once the forges are up, we can do good together. But know that when the forges are up and the power has been split, I must leave you to attend to my people.
Me too, even though it's been a good run out here. Your skill with the wings is pretty good there, Sir Garth.
Thank you.
And as the discussion continues and the evening goes on, food and drink are brought to you, and plans are made as to how they're going to disperse and who's going to go where. You're able to see maps of more of the islands in the area, and there's a continent that's a few days of boat travel. And then there's a few others that you notice that are even further around the islands. That what you see is this world is far bigger than you'd expect it to be, just in your little experience of those islands. And you hear stories and tales from quite a few of the sailors from all parts of this this entire world. And their excitement to be a part of this moment to spread the power is overwhelming. And as the discussion continues, up ahead, you do see a bit of land come into view, and you hear the shouts, "Land ho! The port's ahead!" And excitement builds, and people are climbing up the masts a bit, and you do see the city almost kind of rises up from the center of this stretch of land. Amongst the outside of the city, it seems to be covered in a giant cloud, and it seems to almost be coming out of the city. This cloud is a part of the city. It's not like one would think here with, because we're West Coast LA people, that it's like smog, but it is very steam heavy driven cloud that covers the tops of everything. And as you see that in the distance, you get some pats on the back. A young man walks up and looks at you all.
So you got some nice leather gloves, right? Each of you has a pair of leather gloves.
I've got these, and I pull out my magical gloves that help me see through things.
Oh, those are kind of lightweight. You need some good solid leather. Here.
He opens up his pack and he pulls out a small box and flips it open. He's got all sorts of leather gloves of various sizes, different ornate sewing along the edges and on the backs.
And make sure you don't step on any of the pipes. So the leather gloves for your first time here. You're gonna need them because the pipes are nice and hot, and sometimes they're right around the door frames. Sometimes they're across the road. You just don't touch the metal pipes.
And he pulls up one glove a little bit, and you can see he's got like a scar on his hand.
That was when I was a wee hopper.
And as you look at this kid, he looks to be only about 12 or 13.
Well, I was climbing a tree and I found a pipe near the tree and I grabbed it to get up a bit further. I'll remember that for the rest of my life. But take a pair. I've worked on these and they're. Oh, I don't tend to get paid by people. The big boat, they used to pay me a couple days' wage.
Well,
I
you
don't know if this is gonna work,
Mhm.
but I want to reach out, take his hand between my two,
Okay.
and cast life transference.
Okay.
And basically absorb the scar onto me. Just because he's a kid, and that's not cool.
The die is a 20, so you do it perfectly. You feel a searing pain go across the palm of your hand just briefly as you almost essentially scar yourself from it. And as you grasp and clench your hand a little bit, you notice that it is stiff, or a little bit more stiff than it normally was. And the young man just looks at you and looks at his hand, and he tears up a little bit and goes, just take a pair. Thank you. And he stretches his hand a little bit more in excitement. And he's
Just remember the gloves, little dude.
Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
and he just is grinning ear to ear. And then he looks down.
Oh, yes.
And he digs a little bit through, and he hands a small bag to Valari, and within that little bag, there's 4 leather booties made about puppy size.
Good luck keeping you on him. Dogs don't tend to like those, but
And you're each able to take a ornate set of leather gloves. You get a +1 against grasping anything that would cause fire damage. So you get a little bit of a check there, a bonus. It's not really fire damage as you take it anywhere else, but if you're picking up anything hot, steam pipes, whatever, it's a little bit.
So he essentially gave us leather of gloves.
Sure.
You guys don't know about the of glove?
No.
Are we
It's
gonna
great.
Are we gonna go into an infomercial now?
No, they don't sponsor us.
Okay, I didn't know if it was slap chop
But-
style infomercial. And as you continue towards the port and get the right fitting of your gloves, the young man packs up his bag, pets Aster on the head and goes and stands up at the front of the ship. And you hear him say something along the lines of, home! Anything else you wish to do on these boats as you're approaching? Any plans, thoughts? Last minute Thadric's Thoughtful Thursdays or Garth's ahas?
I think.
Well, I only have one left for the season on this list.
Oh,
Let's
man.
hear it.
Wait, do we want to end with it? Does anyone else like? Do we want that?
Oh, like the out?
Yeah.
The out of the story.
Wait. Let's double check.
Opens
Jared,
a
is it
lot.
a good?
It's a solid out.
Okay, so let's make
It's
sure
a
we're all
solid out.
set before we say it. So
Yeah.
Garth is gonna like check the pouch, just make sure like, okay, there's the gem, like it's still in my possession. Check
Yep.
for a couple of very important books for him. Check, just rifle through the things. Called everything. Right. I've got everything.
Yep. You have everything. You all have everything. That is until I rob you next season.
Right.
All right.
New city.
New adventures.
Valari.
We're like standing on the precipice, looking at the city.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, as the city comes into view and gets larger, I think Valari feels a little bit of like a homesickness, but also at the same time too an excitement because it does remind her a bit of her large cities she's been in.
No, I think that she's definitely like she's been feeling like we spent all this time here. Like we need to start looking for a way to get back home. Like I have responsibilities and things I have to take care of, and I just like, and so she's kind of like another city, and the Steam city is like very different. So she's like, okay.
All right.
So I think she's just like tired.
Perfect. Yeah. As the city
Yeah.
comes into view, Garth, did you have anything before Thadric signs off this?
I think Garth was gonna look to Valari, and I think he would assess that kind of discomfort,
Yeah.
and he would say, Valari, I understand how you feel running around like this, but we'll need you on this one. You're the one who knows the cities. You'll be crucial. And then Thadric can say whatever he wants.
Yes. My friends, you have light and peace inside of you. If you let it out, you can change the world around you.
Like a
As the
fart.
lights of the city come up on us.
Valari adds her Valariism at the end, like a fart, and this is where we fade to black. Stick around, we will raid. I think Jared will cue that up for us. Jared, if you have a place, awesome.
Yep, we going on a raid.
Perfect. And as we're wrapping up, this was the end of season 4. Catch up on all of the other seasons on VOD or podcast or whatnot. VOD here, and I believe on YouTube we have our off-season stuff that we did between I think seasons 2 and 3. So there's some really cool stuff where we try out other characters, and we have other guests that show up. So do keep up on all of that. We won't be playing on the first weekend of March, but we will be playing on the third weekend of March where we kick off season 5 in this new Steam city. So yeah, thank you for joining.
I do also want to give a shout out, Mr. Hoy. This Wednesday, over on the Real Gobshite, is going to be
That's me.
GMing a new season of Bedlam and Discord, which has moved
Yes.
over from the DAT network. I will be there, as well as a lot of the other great Bedlam and Discord favorites. So if you need some midweek RPG fun, check
Yes.
us out there.
It
Totally.
gonst to be lit, fam.
Guns to be lit.
We did get the Discord link in, so join there because we do shout outs when Jared streams, when we are streaming, and when others that we enjoy in our group stream as well.
And you can sign up for notifications on Twitch for our channel to get
Yeah.
those when we go live.
Yep. So, where are we rating, Jared?
We are going to Pixel Circus, who's in the middle of their damsels, dice, and everything nice. If you're a fan of the Disneyverse, it's a bunch of amazingly talented role players. So
Awesome. make sure to hype out and cheer them on. Let them know that you came from Here Be Dragons, and let's do this.
Thanks, guys.
All right. We'll see you in a few weeks, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.